The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic Sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Foamaware, and Bozen the Florist. Thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
And good evening, and welcome to a beautiful night of Week 1 of the high school football season, the year 2022. My name is Mark Amadil, joined by Matt Mangering, John Chido for our, year number 6 and year number 7. Is that right? For being on Iowa Catholic Radio for both of you?
I think so. I think I'm 6 too, though. But
I don't know. Did we start at the
He
same
came
time?
on. He was on a game, so that counts. So.
Oh, yeah. I subbed one night. That was my error, wasn't it?
And we were losing at halftime. You almost got fired.
Yeah,
remember that in the Ankeny press box? Yeah, remember that?
I remember it.
Well, that's when I didn't want to do the halftime interview because we were down in that game.
Right. So we're all back, and this is Week 1, the opening night. We're on 15 minutes early. We're going to talk high school football and Dowling football. The 46th year here on Iowa Catholic Radio. We've been running this countdown on the station during the morning show for the last month. But 46 years of broadcasting Dowling Catholic football. I've been blessed to be involved with 41 of those years. But the guy who started it all just had his funeral here a few years ago, Bob Updegraff. Johnny, you know him from the golf. His family was in the golf. And,
Nevada Bobs.
Nevada Bobs. Yeah. That's his family, and Bob started this back with his buddies back in 1976. And here we are 46 years later and covering this Dowling team. And what a tradition it has been for the station on Friday nights, but what a tradition has evolved with all our alumni and fans that listen now worldwide. And Matt, we're a big part of getting the message out about Dowling during this time, along with the football team and other things that go on inside the school.
It is a blessing what this program does, what Iowa Catholic Radio does, and all these broadcasts and what you do, Mark, to promote Dowling Catholic and all the athletics that we have. And you get out here and you're rooting on kids and watching kids become their best version year after year after year, and it just keeps cycling, and it's crazy to watch and fun to watch.
It goes by quick, doesn't it?
It does.
It's amazing how quick it goes.
How many stories you have, John, where you're out in the middle of somewhere, usually at a golf course sometimes, and you hear somebody say, "Hey, you're the guy that's on the sideline," and that Amadale and Mandering always talk about, You get a few of those?
We hear it all the time, and it's always good accolades, fun accolades. But I really enjoy this. When you have the opportunity to talk football, in high school football on Friday nights, there's nothing better, and I really truly enjoy it, and glad that I was able to come aboard.
Yeah, well, it's always 50-50 with Johnny because he's also the 8th grade football coach at Dowling. It's part of the Dowling program, so he's going to be wearing double duty here. Well, this year, right now, you are because you started your practices. I think a year ago you didn't practice until after Labor Day or however they had it set up for COVID, but you are this year, so you're doing double duty. And did you practice tonight?
No, not Friday nights.
Film session, huddle, anything like that?
No, we're off Friday. We go early tomorrow morning, so hopefully tonight's a good night for the Maroons. But we've had 4 practices, and it's a good group. The numbers aren't as good as they have been in the past, but we got a good group of kids this year, and it's going to be an exciting year coaching with Mark Scigliano and Casey Shelton, Pat Reinhardt, and Rod Hagan. How do I forget Rod? We've been together from the beginning. How would you forget
Rod? Both his boys are going. Well, one has already went through now, an outstanding wrestler for Grandview. The other one is in his senior year, and he'll be starting on the defensive line. We'll talk more about that. But you mentioned numbers, and maybe you have low numbers in the 8th grade. Matt Mandering, there's 90 players on this Dowling roster this year. 40 seniors. That's a record. I can tell you from 40-some years, there's never not been that many seniors. 40 seniors, 45 juniors, 4 sophomores, and yes, 1 freshman on the Dowling team this year.
It's Coach Wilson and I were talking about this about 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about numbers and things like that, and he just said this is my biggest year, probably ever, 9-12. One of our biggest years. And if you remember a couple of years ago, because we hit that little downside because everybody was worried about concussions and all these other things, and the football was taking a little bit of a hit, and the High School Athletic Association, everybody else has done a lot to help show that the game can be safe. If you play the game right, you practice right, the game can be safe. Now, it's still a collision sport. You're still going to have injuries. But for the most part, the game, this led into our conversation was with Coach Wilson was the number of concussions. Have they gone down?
Yes.
And he said they have. And, it's one of those things. You're not doing bull in the ring anymore.
No.
You're not lining up kids 10 yards apart and saying go hit each other.
Right.
And so we've gotten smarter about how to coach the game. And that's fun to see. It's good for the game.
I remember, growing up, playing football, you were told to get your head across, lead with your head.
Mm-hmm.
Right now everything is heads-up football. And
right.
That's what we strive to do. And you make a great point. Concussions have gone down tremendously. I think now you're seeing more of the ankles and the ACLs and stuff like that than you are concussions. And
you don't know if that's because of the turf, and different things like that, because a lot of things have gone to turf, or if it's the constant motion of these kids. The kids don't stop. And
heard the shoe. That's
shoe.
Another theory that's going out there.
Yeah.
Some of these academic minds have said, no, it's the shoe. The shoe's gotten better. The turf's gotten better. The give on the grass. Some of that grass and cinders and some of the stuff we played in, I don't know. I like the turf is better, but it doesn't. There's no stats to back that up, Matt.
I don't think the knees and the cleats didn't grab in that old grass like it would.
Right.
But it's the game has progressed. The speed of the game has gotten faster, and it's just fun to watch how the game has evolved and has become a safer thing for high school kids.
Well, we hope tonight is much safer than it was a year ago. Remember last year?
Yes.
Because all the teams this year play the same schedule they had last year, except opposite site. We were out at Southeast Polk and Runnels High School, and it was 93 degrees. I had it written down on my score sheet. 93 degrees was like 105, and we were sweating out there. That was just inside. You probably had the most cool spot, John Chida. You were on the far sideline where there was a breeze, but that was a brutal night for the opening night last year.
Well, it was at Southeast Polk, so we were on the opposing side, and you had the sun was directly into our face.
That's true.
To start the game, so it was steamy hot. A lot of guys were cramping up and need to get hydrated quite often from that game. But what an exciting finish that was last year.
in a game.
Last play of the game.
Yeah, in a game that Dowling wasn't picked to be in.
Right.
It was supposed to be a Southeast Polk cakewalk, and they had all the weapons. And it comes down to the last play.
And right to
and
the last
athletes
play.
made plays in the end.
Yes.
Southeast Polk.
Yeah. Now he's playing at Iowa.
Yeah, that's right. And that was Jackson Daly threw it to Xavier Wampa in the end zone, the final play of the game, and he threw it into a crowd, and the athlete won out. And hope he has a great career at Iowa. I'm a big Hawk fan.
Wish him all the best now.
But not a year ago. But what a game that was, exciting. And Southeast Polk with the win, 13-7 last year. So, and Dowling had a 7-6 lead at the time, trying to hold on. So, will we expect that tonight? I don't know. We'll get into that. But our temperature tonight, 83 degrees. The winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour, so we'll have the wind blowing towards the press box here, and the humidity at 50%, so much better conditions for the athletes. And so I don't think we'll have the mandatory one or two. Remember last year we had a few games. There was a punt, change of possession. That was an automatic timeout for the players and coaches to get watered, and I don't think that'll be the case tonight. We have beautiful conditions. So let's talk about the schedule, guys. In our first segment, Dowling opens up with Southeast Polk. Then next 2 weeks, Dowling on the road at Waukee Northwest, and then at Ankeny, who's also been the state title game the last 2 years. Runner-up last year to Southeast Polk. The year before, the Hawks were the champs. Those are the next two games following tonight's game with Southeast Polk. Then the Maroons are home here again and against City High of Iowa City. And then Council Bluffs Lincoln. Dowling goes back on the road. They're home against Johnston, at Ames, home against Valley, and at Waukee to close out the season. So, again, the opposite of what they had last year. And I know you take them one game at a time, coaches, because, Matt, you coached up at Sheldon for many years, and Johnny, you're coaching now. But tonight it's Dowling and Southeast Polk. For Dowling, well, it doesn't get any more difficult. A tremendous team. They're going to have to reload. Southeast Polk's rebuilding, obviously, but they got a very experienced team. But you don't have to do much for the playbook because you're just going to interchange new receivers, a new quarterback, so on and so forth. But Dowling's last game was against Polk, so not a whole lot to look up. Next year at this time, there'll be a brand new schedule because everybody gets a 2-year schedule. That won't happen until December when they give it. But talk about the matchup with that, Matt.
I remember when the schedule came out a year ago, and they, for years we were playing so many games in the Metro, and you had some games that were a little bit easier in there, and I know the talk was that once the schedule came out is Dowling was not getting any breaks whatsoever, and every game is a grinder.
7 straight titles, you're not going to get any breaks, and they didn't.
And they didn't. Yeah. And there's no break as you were going through that schedule. I was sitting there thinking about where is there a game where you can get healed up a little bit.
Right.
There's not any of those games in there, and it's good in the end. You want to be competitive. You want to have get out night after night, and what better way to start the season? This has got to be one of the best matchups in the state tonight.
I would think so, John. You look at we're going to go through the list of games tonight, but the one thing I noticed with last year, and I know Dowling had, the team lost their final game to Southeast Polk, but the points that Dowling scored in that game, Southeast Polk held their opponents to just 7 points. In the next round, that was against City High in the semis, and 7 points they held Ankeny after avenging the loss during the regular season to Ankeny. The Rams, the defense held Dowling to 7 points, to held the other team to 7 points, but Maroons got 30. They got 28 against the Rams a year ago. So that says a lot in a losing cause, doesn't it, John?
Yeah, it does. And I was talking to Coach Mark Martin, who coaches the defensive backs for Southeast Polk, before I came up here and we got on the broadcast. And one of the questions we kind of asked each other, what kind of a scoring do you think it's going to be? And he's 50-50. He thinks it's either going to be a shootout or it's going to be a low-scoring game. And I said the same thing. I thought, 1 week ago, I thought maybe it's going to be a high-scoring game, and then kind of looking at things and looking at different players from each team and where they're playing at. Now I'm kind of going the other way. I think it's going to be kind of a lower-scoring game.
Defense
it's also the first game of the year, too.
That's true.
So.
And usually the defense is ahead of the offense traditionally this time of year.
Traditionally, and the thing that's changed a little bit is so many of these teams are playing 7-on-7 stuff over the summer that now I think it takes a little bit of time for the defense to catch up. But again, the thing you can't replicate in practice is what teams can replicate game speed quicker. Because if your defense has to be able to get to that level right away, and your offense has to be able to get off the ball and anticipate how the defense is coming out at the same speed. So this is a little bit about preparation.
Yes.
And it'll be fun to see.
We're going to take a break here in our first segment as we go on early tonight. We're 45 minutes ahead of our 7 o'clock kickoff. Dowling and Southeast Polk here at Valley Stadium. Mark Amadale, Matt Mandering, John Chido here on the pregame show. We'll continue with our pregame show as we got about another 35 minutes or so of pregame, and we'll talk more about, we'll break down this game between Dowling and Southeast Polk. We want to welcome the Southeast Polk Ram fans that'll be listening and maybe watching. The TV will be live streaming through TV at 6:55 from CISN. They have their own pregame that they run, and we'll be joining them for their audio broadcast tonight, so it'll be on CISN.TV if you want to watch and listen to our broadcast. But we'll talk more pregame. We'll break Dowling and Southeast Polk down a little bit further. We want to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Bozen the Florist, Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, along with Dental Associates, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, and our thanks to Skeffington's Formal Wear. Along with Matt Mandering, John Chido, I'm Mark Amadale. Jeff Piggott is our studio producer. We'll return after these messages.
It can be easy to forget about the dignity of another when we disagree with their ideas or actions. We start to focus on the things that make us different, and the thoughts start to divide us. Before we reach the conclusion of those thoughts, we must pause and remind ourselves that person with a different idea or lifestyle has great dignity. The next time you find yourself ready to go toe-to-toe with someone, remember that they have dignity and deserve respect, even when we disagree.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, I'm Amy Bishop from St. Elizabeth Seton Catholic Church in Carlisle. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. Mark Amadale here on our pregame show before Dowling and Southeast Polk. These two teams ranked in the top three. Dowling at number 3 and Southeast Polk at number 2. The Ankeny Hawks at number 1. And, of course, reporters making all those that information out. They just take what they have coming back from last year and all that good stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. But let's kind of break down the game. Again, we want to welcome our visitors tonight from Southeast Polk and their fans who may not be attending. Beautiful night here at Valley Stadium, temperature in the lower 80s. And it should be a good night for football with partly cloudy skies. And we got to set the tone there because we have listeners all over the states, overseas. It's like, I wonder what the weather's like back in Iowa. Well, we were here a month ago. It was pretty hot, 100-degree weather, but not tonight. And Matt and John, this time to break down the Dowling team. Maroons returned 8 offensive starters on offense, and on defense, Maroons have 6 starters back, but only 5 will get to play tonight as Noah Seamer is out for a while. He may be back hopefully by October, as he had an injury that started on the first day of Central Camp back in late July, so that was not good. But we'll start with the Dowling offense. Johnny, you look at the offensive line. They've got 3 starters back. We're going to have a new center and a new right guard. Your thoughts on with Rockers and Nahas anchoring the tackles?
Well, they're going to be the key on how the offense goes. You have 2 veterans, and then with Rockers and Nahas, and then both Rockers left tackle, George on the right side playing right tackle. And then Cade Batterton, he started halfway through the season, and so he has a lot of experience too, as you mentioned, Mark. The key factors, you have Max Shelton, who is going to get his first start at center, and Nate Agos is going to play right guard. And they're going to go up against a experienced and tough defensive line with Southeast Polk, and that's where Southeast Polk's strength is going to be. And it's going to be interesting on how Dowling's going to attack that, and how the 2 youngsters play out tonight in their first varsity experience.
Then you got to add to the offensive line, John, the tight ends. Jalen Thompson, who has the experience coming back, he's a senior, along with Danny Nielsen, who we'll hear from Coach Wilson. As I recorded his show yesterday, he's really high on Danny. He likes how he plays. I saw Danny on the basketball team, so a couple athletic tight ends. And then, well, they got the new position. It used to be the fullback, but it's called the utility, the U. That's a place I visit in Urbandale quite often, it seems like, the establishment. But the U, and that has a Dowling transfer, came in from DCG. That's Will Leifker, who will get the start there. He is a junior, along with Hunter Crutchlow. And I always thought that position, Coach Wilson called it like a guard, a fullback, and a tight end all in one, an extra guard. And Johnny, that's what Leifker and Crutchlow are going to anchor.
Yeah, so they call it your utility guy because he's going to do multiple things. They're going to line him up in a normal 2-back set that everybody's used to seeing, and then they'll offset him in a wing or offset him away from the tight end and split him out. And you're seeing the fullback become more involved in that short passing, that hot route. When you get a lot of blitzing linebackers or aggressive offensive line, you need a good utility player that can also block but also catch and get out in space.
All right, and we'll go to the skill positions. Cooper Nicholson and Bo Gamble, there were 2 receivers that were in the mix. Cooper started last year and was all everything, an outstanding year at shortstop for the Maroons. And then the tailback will be C.J. Phillip, along with Rashad Davis. Davis, a sophomore, Phillip, a junior. And both Gamble and Nicholson are seniors, so that's kind of how the skills will be. And we'll talk about them before we go to the quarterback matchup.
Yeah, with C.J. and Rashad Davis, the sophomore, you're going to have a nice 1-2 punch there. And Rashad is going to be a good refresher for C.J. When he gets tired and gets a lot of reps. So it will be Rashad's first varsity experience, and it'll be a little bit jittery. It's expected, but once the game gets going, and I think you'll see a nice 1-2 combination with both those 2 guys. And on the outside with the receivers, you have a lot of experience coming back with Bo Gamble and Cooper Nicholson, who had a phenomenal year last year at the Z position. And Hank Brown, you'll see a lot from him as well, and Michael Reichart, who had some experience last year too.
So that'll be in the mix for receivers. Now the quarterback, Jackson Smolik, who verbally committed to Penn State. He and Dante Cataldo both got, I looked at their numbers. Cataldo threw for 5 touchdowns. He rushed for 4. And Smolik threw for 9 touchdowns, didn't rush for any. And, between them they had 18 touchdowns, sharing the quarterback duties. Keep in mind, Smolik played he was injured the first game, so he got a half a game in on week 1, came back and played the last 2 games of the year, and then the playoff game. So he had 5 games and 9 touchdowns. But Smolik really has improved, and he's healed and gotten stronger over the summer. But he is the quarterback. He'll be the starting quarterback tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully Jackson can be healthy this year, and I wish him that. He deserves that. He deserves to have a full season because we still haven't seen his best yet, and his best is yet to come. And he's going to Penn State, and you don't go to Penn State if you're not a good athlete. So, especially playing the quarterback position, and Jackson's a good one. And then you have Dante Cataldo, who had a lot of experience as a sophomore last year, and he's going to be your red zone guy. And if we look back at the stats last year in red zone, especially against Southeast Polk, we were 0 for everything. We could not convert in the red zone, and that's going to be a key element to Downing's offense going tonight. I know they really want to focus on finishing drives, and I think Dante's going to help out a lot in that red zone, and because he gives you that triple threat option with being able to throw, and he's good on his feet as well.
Okay, well, let's look at the Dowling offense. Last year they were pretty balanced, 21 passing touchdowns and 21 rushing touchdowns, a total of 42 touchdowns and 7 interceptions as a group last year. Matt Maynard over the Dowling defense, and the Maroons, well, you look back at last year, and they were kind of the glue. They were put in a lot of situations. They were probably on the field a lot last year, a lot longer than they want to be. But the one thing they couldn't do is force a lot of turnovers. They forced 3 fumbles and 5 interceptions, and some of those guys have already graduated. So forcing turnovers, that's got to be a key. But they were, when they needed to get to it, they did. But unfortunately, football is two-sided, offense, defense. But the Dowling defense played pretty stellar considering some of the situations they were in.
Especially as early in the year, after Jackson went down and we had the transition at quarterback, and the offense was stuttered in a few games, and the defense kept them right there. And we weren't, going into the season, no one was really sure if that defense was how stout they were going to be. We knew we had some players up front and we could do some things, but you weren't really sure because in the backside of that defense was the weak point. That secondary didn't have a lot of experience last year, and it turned out to be, as the year went on, a pretty solid unit, and especially with the transition of defensive coordinators as well.
Right.
So you have a little bit of that pressure in there, and they're evolved this year, going to that 3-man front, so it's going to look a little different. This year, for those that are watching on TV, you're going to see 3 guys with their hand on the ground and 1 guy kind of dancing around and finding a gap. And so it's going to be interesting to see, because the strength, I think, seeing Southeast Polk come to the game this year, their strength's going to be the run game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that front 3 handles that offensive line from Southeast Polk.
And let's talk about that front 3. Starters for this year at tackle will be Carson Hagan. He's a senior, had 13 tackles and 5 sacks last year. Roston Rumley will be the nose tackle. He had 6.5 tackles in a backup role last year. And Cody Hikas, Coach Zelenovich of Southeast Polk talked about him. He said that Hikas kid is something. He's 6'2", 220. Those are the starting 3, backed up by Ben Thomas, Tony Fatino, and Tommy Keipel, Matt.
Yeah, and Tommy Keipel's a kid that's come a long way in the last couple of years. He's a solid kid. But you look at those 3 up front, and the Hikas, he's going to be a stud. Carson Hagan, no one's talked about. No one's said anything about Carson Hagan. And we saw him on the field in spots last year, and the kid's got a motor.
Yeah.
And I would go out on a limb and say this: by week 4, the state's going to know who Carson Hagan is.
They're going to know him.
Yeah.
Get to know him really quick.
And then
You're absolutely right.
And then Ralston Rumley, look at that. You look what that young man did as how he came on at the end of wrestling season. If I remember right, last year he was dealing with an injury during football.
Yes.
And then he came into the wrestling season, makes it into the state tournament.
Yes, he did.
And you got 2 stud wrestlers up there in that spot. And in that 3-man front, it plays to the strength of these kids. And that's what's going to be exciting, because then you have this linebacking core of Hanton, Manning, Wannick, and Hughes. And they are going to be, and Braden Pearson, and it's going to be, they're going to be diving all over. It's going to be a lot of action going on out there.
So the three with their hand down, as Johnny was alluding to, was Carson Hagan, Rosslyn Rumley, and Cody Hikas. That's the three front, the five linebackers. So which one is moving around a lot, Johnny? Which position is that?
They call it the jack player. So it's basically an outside backer.
That'll be Braden Pearson.
Yes.
Start tonight there, number 11.
That's the guy you'll see be moving around a lot, and he won't have his hand on the ground. That's the difference. He'll be in a stand-up end. It might drop back a little bit, split the difference between that number 3 receiver and man on the line of scrimmage. But
yeah. So when you see a three-man front, essentially what you're doing is you're covering the center. An even man front, you're not covering the center. You got two guys offset on the sides of the center. Now with this three-man front, you're working the center. You're going to get a guy on him, and you're going to have three guys playing at his tackle position. And then you're going to have the kind of walk-up in. So when you talk about it, it really starts to look like a 5-2 sometimes.
Yes, yeah.
It's going to look like a 5-3 sometimes, depending on how things shift around. Because no matter what you do and what you call it,
yes.
you can call it the three-man front all you want. You're going to have five guys within a yard of the line of scrimmage, or 2 yards of the line of scrimmage.
All right, in the secondary for Dowling Catholic, two veterans at left corner will be Jake Anderson, a senior at start there. He had 15 tackles last year, and Jared Rickey be at right corner. He'll wear number 9. He's a senior. He had 5 tackles last year. And at free safety, and this is a change, Justice Williams, transferred from Norwalk, had 62 tackles last year for Norwalk and 3 interceptions. He'll man that free safety spot, and that's exciting. They're backed up by Isaac Dolo and Kenny James in the corners, and Nick Frericks at free safety will back those 3 starters. You talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, Jake Anderson did a really good job last year. Came on as the season went on and played really well. And Justice Williams, it's going to be fun to watch him here play. He's going to have a cast on. He's got I believe it's his right hand cast. I don't know. I can't remember now as I think about practice which hand he's got casted up. But he's going to play, and you got athletes out there. And Jared Rickey, all of a sudden, what was a little bit skeptical coming in, talking to Coach Wilson, he thinks that now could be one of the stronger points of his defensive unit is those back 3 guys. So
okay, and then we'll look at the special teams. The punter this year is going to be Cooper Nicholson. He and Joe Vidane, who had a little bit of experience last year. Vidane averaged 25 yards and 3 kicks, but Cooper Nicholson beat him out in camp, and Cooper will be a jack of all trades: punt return, kickoff return, and punter, along with starting receiver. So you won't see him off the field too much. And then our kicker this year will be Andrew Schumacher. He's a junior. He went 1 for 1 in field goals and extra points last year. Did not attempt a field goal, but he gets the start over Marty Blount, and so that's a look at
2
some
good
of the
ones
special
there.
teams.
Yeah,
you're really high on Blount. I know that.
And Andrew, we had him in 8th grade. That was the first time that in 8th grade that we were able to kick extra points and field goals. And it's kind of nice to have that
That tells
option.
me, Matt, it's about coaching. Because it's not right. These two just didn't appear and knew how to kick. It's about coaching. You got to get Hagan. Coach Hagan's got to learn a little bit more about kicking.
I should bring back my brother Frank. He was a kicker for half a day in his high school experience.
Well, there you go. We've kind of went through the Dowling 2 deep. The Maroons averaged a little over 30 points last year on offense and gave up 16 points on defense. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to catch up with the head coach of Dowling Catholic. Believe it or not, his 18th year at Dowling. He's got 13 years as AD. So there was 5 years there where he was just a head coach, and that is Tom Wilson. His 30th year overall, and I had enough conversation with him last night. Matt, I know you attended. It was the fall kickoff at Dowling, the rally they had at Dowling. So we taped an interview, believe it or not, through all that noise. But it worked out, and we had a little background. But you were there, and that was a lot of fun. But I caught up with the head coach. 18 years, and it's been great. It's been a great ride thus far. We'll take a break and return along with Matt Mandring. I'm Mark Amadale and John Chido. We'll be back with our segment with head coach Tom Wilson on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Amazon Smile is a simple way to support Iowa Catholic Radio. When you are shopping on Amazon, consider shopping through Amazon Smile instead. You get all the same great deals, and your order will also help support Iowa Catholic Radio. All you need to do is choose Iowa Catholic Radio as your nonprofit to support when you first log in, and Amazon will do the rest. Every Amazon Smile order you make, Amazon will donate to Iowa Catholic Radio. Support Iowa Catholic Radio while you shop at smile.amazon.com. And thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio needs you, whether it's assisting with events, answering the phone, distributing yard signs, or being a parish ambassador. Iowa Catholic Radio depends on you to help connect listeners with Christ. Email contact@iowacatholicradio.com to get involved.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network alongside Tom Wilson. I'm Mark Amadale as we move to the pregame show with our coaches segment. Head coach Tom Wilson joins us. Coach, welcome. It's hard to believe it's year 18 here at Dowling and year 30 in your career. Put a lot of years in, and this is a great one to look forward to. Thanks for joining us once again.
It sure is. Glad to be here and looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, this 2022 Dowling team, I look at the numbers. You got 90 kids on the roster, 40 seniors. That's might be a record. 45 juniors, about 4 sophomores and 1 freshman. What a group that's gathered! And I know you just came out of camp and practice, and here you go tonight with Game 1 against Southeast Polk. But a lot of good numbers this year.
We do have great numbers, and it's been good as we've gone through camp and our preseason work. And I think a lot of programs struggle numbers-wise and things like that, and we've been able to maintain and even grow some. So it's a good group of kids and one we're looking forward to.
Well, Coach, you look at this group coming back. You have 8 offensive starters back. I think you have 6 defensive starters, but 1 being injured. He may be back later in the year. But some experience back, especially in certain positions. That's got to be exciting as you prepare for this season. After the start you got off to last year, you went 1-3, won 6 in a row before you met Southeast Polk in the playoffs. What a run! But this year's juniors and sophomores, who are now juniors, really worked hard in the summer. A lot of excitement with this much experience.
It is. I mean, there's kids, as you said, that played quite a bit a year ago. Our schedule doesn't do us any favors, and the first few games of the year, those are teams that have a chance to win a state championship, and so we'll get ourselves through that and see what happens, and then continue to build as we go throughout the year.
Well, in preparing for tonight, we'll talk about Southeast Polk in segment 1, but you take a look at your captains. They're all starters, starting at quarterback with Jackson Smolik, who's back and hopefully healthy. Cooper Nicholson is your other captain on the offensive side, along with Carson Hagan and Joe Hughes. Those are your 4 captains. Talk about them and their leadership and what they mean leading this group.
Yeah, players did a great job selecting those captains. And I'll start on the defensive side. Hagan is, having a great high school career as an athlete here, and we need big things out of him on our defensive line. Joe Hughes was our leading tackler a year ago, and one of our hardest working kids. And then on the offensive side, I think much has been made of Jackson, and deservedly so. But Cooper Nicholson was one of our leading receivers a year ago, and having a pretty good career as an athlete himself.
Coach, you look, and we'll start on the offensive side with the offensive line. You have Kyle Rockers at left tackle, Cade Batterton at left guard, and George Nahas at right tackle. Those are the veterans back. So you got 3 offensive starters in the offensive line. That's always good. Your tight end, Jalen Thompson, played quite a bit last year. And then Max Shelton and Nate Agos getting his first start at right guard. Those are some of the newcomers, but otherwise a pretty veteran offensive line.
Yeah, certainly 3 guys to build around has been good for us. We've had some injury issues at right guard and things like that. Max is not a big kid, but a tough kid. And so, we're going to lean on those veterans that you talked about, and we think that, Rockers and George and Batterton can be 3 really good linemen for us.
And your skill positions, you look at your flankers and your split ends, Bo Gamble and Cooper Nicholson. Cooper caught a lot of touchdown passes last year, but Bo Gamble caught the final touchdown pass of the season in the loss to Southeast Polk. And then Michael Reichart and Hank Brown back them up. And then, of course, Danny Nielsen's also in the mix as a backup tight end. He and the new kid, Will Lifker.
Yeah, this is a strength that we think of our team. And Coop had a great year a year ago. Bo played a lot for us. Jalen Thompson played an awful lot of football for us. And Will Leifker's going to be a really good player. And I'm as proud of Danny Nielsen as I am anybody. I think he's really just done everything we've ever asked him to do, and he's earned some opportunities. And so he'll get on the field as well. But those are kids that have to be a strength for our team.
And we've heard kind of the talk of Jackson Smolik, what an offseason he had, not only getting healed from his broken collarbone and coming back in the latter part of the year, but what he's done in some of the summer camps to get noticed and now verbally committed to Penn State at quarterback. And then Dante Cataldo, who played quite a bit last year out of necessity when Jackson went down. He's in the mix. So really, you have quarterback as Smolik as a starter, and a kid like Dante, he could probably play for a lot of different teams, but you got a lot of experience back there.
We do. Dante's a good player, and as you mentioned, played some valuable snaps for us a year ago. Jackson has certainly made a name for himself, and we've always kind of known that he was going to be a great quarterback, and he's played good football, but obviously had some injury trouble, but he's kind of elevated himself in the last year, and as you mentioned, going to Penn State, but I think he would tell you he's more concerned about us and right now than he is what's going on in the future.
And finally, Coach, your defensive unit, I think 5 of your 6 starters are back. The one injury, Noah Seamer, is going to be out for a while. Hopefully he'll come back later, and he was your rover linebacker. But Hagan, Rumley, Hughes, and then your corners are back with Jake Anderson and Jared Rickey, and Jimmy Wannick played a lot. So some veterans on defense, and that's going to come into play tonight, taking on a very fine Southeast Polk offensive unit.
Yeah, no question. And Cody Hikus would be in on that as well. And that defensive line is going to have to do a great job. We've got some newcomers there that we think are good players, but you're going to lean on your veterans. And Southeast Polk has a terrific offensive line. They returned 4 of 5 of those guys, and obviously Proctor being one of them. So it's a big challenge.
This is with head coach Tom Wilson tonight before Southeast Polk and Dowling, the opening night of the high school football season here on Iowa Catholic Radio. This is Mark Amadale from Valley Stadium. We'll return with more with head coach Tom Wilson. We'll talk about tonight's opponent, the Southeast Polk Rams, here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Right.
It can be easy to look at how someone is dressing or acting and judge them. But have you ever thought about how much grace is available in these situations? The next time someone makes a questionable decision, instead of judging and condemning, uphold their dignity for them. We do greater good by lifting them up in prayer and respecting their personhood than if we mentally tear them apart in our thoughts. We can uphold the dignity of others even when they are unable to recognize their own value.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org.
Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's Dr. David Anders with Call to Communion. It's a live call-in show for non-Catholics and fallen away Catholics. Called to Communion on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, connecting listeners with Christ.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale joined now by head coach Tom Wilson. In our second segment, talking about Dowling's game tonight, season opener, Dowling and Southeast Polk here at Valley Stadium. And coach, it's the same team you played to end the season, you start the season with. They don't happen too many times in high school football, but tonight it's Dowling and Southeast Polk. You met them twice last year. They had a great team. They ended up winning the state title, but tonight it's a different Southeast Polk team. One of the things you look at on offensively, they have most of their offensive line back. Defensively, they have some pretty good skill kids there. What's the matchup? What does it look like as you've been kind of assessing this game all summer and now getting, we're minutes before kickoff?
Yeah, it's more about the line of scrimmage than it is anything else. Really, that's where they return their experience. They have some other pieces here and there, but that's the bottom line. And if our defensive line is going to have to do a great job, and that's going to be a tremendous challenge. And our offensive line, we're going to have to give Jackson time and open some holes for those backs. And they're an experienced group on both sides of the ball, so that's going to be a great challenge for us.
You look at last year, and yes, Southeast Polk eliminated Dowling, but you guys put up the most points at any of the semifinals and the finals than their opponents, and that was Iowa City, City High, and Aiken in the championship game. The Rams held them to 1 touchdown. So moving the ball, even though it was in a losing cause, that has to be a positive. Talk about the matchup. Southeast Polk's offense, and we mentioned their offensive line led by Caden Proctor. And at quarterback, Connor Mobley, the junior, gets the start, but Abu Sama, who was one of the many backs they had last year, he's got an Iowa State scholarship waiting for him at running back. He'll wear number 3 this year. Talk about that matchup with Dowling's defensive line.
Yeah, 2 fantastic players, Proctor and Sama. Sama's a long jump champ as well, and a lot of respect for them. I think they play the game the right way, and really their offensive line, I think, is fantastic. I think 250 is the smallest one that they have, and so that's going to be really, really tough for us. And we're going to have to keep them guessing. We're going to have to bring pressure, and I don't think we can allow them to get comfortable, because if we do, they're going to tee off, and we may be able to get some penetration at times, but then Sama can make you miss. So you mentioned Mobley. He's already got a UNI offer. I've seen him at camps. I actually watched him at UNI as he was throwing to my son, and I think he's pretty good. And so they've got a long history of good quarterback play, and I don't think Mobley will be any different.
On the defensive side for Southeast Polk, they returned 5 starters, and I know the guy clogging up last year, Obald Nyan Carew, he was a man in the middle, and his tackles around him and ends around him have graduated, but Sam Good is back. And then their linebackers, Chebuhar is one of the better ones, and Vanderbrink, a youngster, getting his first start. But the secondary is all new except for Sama, and he's going to be a 2-way player and play some corners. So against the Southeast Polk defense, what are some of the things you're looking at offensively for Dowling tonight?
We're hoping we can take advantage of some of that inexperience. Chebuhar that you mentioned, I think, is a really good player. He was a sophomore a year ago, a junior now. That D-line is very good, but Wampa a year ago was an eraser back there, and he could cover an awful lot of ground. And, we did have some success at times, especially in that second game, as you alluded to. But, we've got to be able to give Jackson some time to do his thing, and we've got to make plays in the passing game as well. But then, we've hung our hat a long time on running the football, and that really won't change. But when you've got a kid like Jackson, if you can keep him protected, you can spread people out and hopefully cause some problems.
Well, Coach, we touched on Southeast Polk. We touched a little bit on Dowling. One thing we didn't touch on was the special teams, and I know you had some good ones that graduate. Diego Leon was a tremendous kicker for you, but you got some replacements to do there with PATs and kickoffs along with punting.
Yeah, we do, and Andrew Schumacher is without question our kicker, and we think he can get to the level of Diego, and Diego was a really good kicker for us. And Schumacher's only a junior, and we have a lot of confidence in him. Cooper Nicholson will do the punting. There's been a battle there, and that may continue to evolve as we go throughout the year. But, it's obviously 2 kids we trust, and Jack Jepson will be doing the holding, and Hagen the snapping. So, Jack is new to this, but Hagen is a veteran, and hopefully he'll do a good job for us.
And in the final skill positions, punt returners and kickoff returners, I see Cooper Nicholson will handle some of the punt returns. There's a guy next to him named Trey Wilson. Are you related to him or know anything about him?
I do, probably more than I need to, but obviously another son in the program, and he's just a sophomore, and he's not a big guy, so hopefully he can run.
And kickoff returns, Jake Anderson, who is your starting left corner, along with sophomore Rashad Davis, getting the keys to the car, because I know you don't put anybody back there that doesn't have good hands. And we're going to see Rashad back there, not only at tailback, but also kickoff.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of Rashad this year. He's a kid with a lot of talent. He's come a long ways. Somebody I'm really excited about. CJ's Mr. Steady, but Rashad is going to be a good player, and hopefully between the 2 of them, they can help us out a lot.
Well, Coach, we look forward to speaking to you at halftime and in the postgame. We appreciate your time once again. It's hard to believe you're starting your 18th year here at Dowling and your 30th year overall, and we just love to have you along for the ride. Appreciate all you do for us and making the game so accessible and us accessible, and also our listeners who can't make it to the game, they can watch it or listen to it.
All right, appreciate it, Mark, and appreciate you guys' support as well.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School. Welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School football. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio, not only broadcasting football, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons!
Hello, my name is Father Ryan Andrew, and I'm the chaplain at Dowling Catholic High School. Let us pray for the coaches, players, and trainers for this athletic competition. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask you to bless all those involved in this athletic competition tonight. We ask that you keep them safe and that they all show good sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. All holy men and women, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
Dowling Catholic! Dowling Catholic! Yeah!
Stadium, West Des Moines, the opening night of the high school football season, and what a dandy. Dowling Catholic and Southeast Polk, the Rams, the defending state champs, and they come in ranked preseason number 2, Dowling Catholic number 3. Both had tremendous seasons last year. Mark Hemedale, Matt Maindring, year 46 for us on Iowa Catholic Radio. And Matt, we talked a lot about it in the pregame. We're ready to go. Looks like Dowling's going to receive as Southeast Polk won the coin toss, and they're going to put their defense out there, and we're going to see the Dowling offense first.
We are going to see the Dowling offense first, and you know a lot has transpired in a year. Jackson Smolik is committed to Penn State, and you know it's going to be a little different offense this year. You know, last year was focused on grinding things out a little bit, and this year with Jackson Smolik healthy, Cooper Nicholson can stretch a field as we saw last year. And it could be an exciting offense with the ball in the air just a little bit more.
Yeah, certainly. Let's go down real quick. John Chidle's on the Dowling sideline. Johnny, give us an update from your perspective tonight. You're in the shade, I know that.
Well, you know, I found it interesting that when Southeast Polk won the toss, they wanted to start on defense. So that tells me their strength this year is their defense, obviously, and we talked about that in the pregame. So we're going to see that matchup right away with that defensive line that Southeast Polk's going to have against our starting offensive line for Dowling Catholic.
Well, a much cooler, thank you, John, for that report from the Dowling sideline, a much cooler 81 degrees than it was a year ago. 81 degrees, east wind at 7. We're underway as Wilson kicks it off. Josh Wilson boots in the end zone for Southeast Polk, touchback, and Dowling will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Dowling wearing their home maroon uniforms, white helmets, and white pants. Southeast Polk in their visiting white uniforms with black pants and black helmets here, Matt.
Yeah, and this defense is a stout defense and is really going to test that front five from Dowling Catholic as you have those two juniors on the edges in Nahas and Rockers and Batterton, Shelton, and Agos in between. They got some meat up front in that defense. It's going to be a handful.
All right, the Maroons open up with their quarterback. That's Jackson Smolik out of the shotgun. 3 receivers left, tight end on the right. And the one sack back is Love, and CJ gets the handoff. CJ Phillip, rather, gets the handoff over the left side, maybe a couple yards up to the 22-yard line. In the backfield for Dowling, as we mentioned in our pregame show, the starters, CJ Phillip and Rashad Davis, they'll alternate at running back. Phillip wearing number 30. The flankers are Cooper Nicholson, number 8, Bo Gamble, number 12. You'll see Michael Reichard in there, number 13, and Hank Brown, number 80. The tight ends for Dowling, Jalen Thompson, number 88, and Danny Nielsen, number 81. And we'll mention the offensive line here after this play. It's 2nd and 8 for Dowling. Ball on their own 22. Bruins going left to right, south to north. Back to pass. Smolik fires out. Pass is caught and shy of the first down. They're getting forward progress, maybe the 25. So a short game up to the 25, a gain of 3, Matt.
Yeah, that was number 5 for us, Will Leifker, out there with the catch and got stuck right away. A great hit out there by number 22, Zeb Hins from Southeast Polk, and sent a message right there. So 3rd and 5.
Maroons on their own 25-yard line. They go with 3 receivers to the right. Smolik back to throw, looks at under pattern, fires it out. Pass is caught, and he's got the first down. He crosses the 30, and that's all he needed to do. And that was out of the backfield. C.J. Phillip with his first catch. C.J. didn't do a lot of catching out of the backfield last year. Matt, he had 3 catches for 9 yards. He gets one there for 5 yards and a first down for Dowling.
And that's going to be key for these running backs coming out late. You know, are they going to be able to pick up the blitz? Are they going to be able to slide out and catch that little pass out into the flats? And right there, Jackson Smolik starts out 2 for 2 with throwing the ball.
Nothing, too big of a gain. It's just been under the 10-yard patterns. First and 10, Dowling. Maroon on the right, hash going right, or rather left to right, south to north here. And we've got a officials timeout. Let's see what this is about. Timeout Dowling. So we'll take a 1-minute break with no score with 10:22 left to go first quarter. From Valley Stadium, you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Matt Wilcom here from Iowa Catholic Radio. I'd like to thank you for your continued support of this apostolate. Because of you, we're reaching more souls in more ways than ever before. Whether you've had your faith strengthened by either our talk or music channels, or if you've been impacted by one of our other outreach initiatives, you experience firsthand the value Iowa Catholic Radio brings to the Catholic and Christian community. If you haven't made the decision yet to become a family member, please consider a $30 a month sustaining gift. Just visit iowacatholicradio.com and welcome to the family.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Brooke Campbell from St. Elizabeth Seton Church in Carlisle. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium. Out of the timeout, Dowling goes through the air and a pass to the left side. It's caught, and a first down for Dowling as the ball carrier gets across the 40-yard line. Was that Cooper Nicholson or
Jake Anderson? Jake Anderson on the catch. 11-yard pitch and catch there for Smolik to Anderson, and a quick hit by Southeast Polk, but they're showing their efficiency with the ball in the air.
So Dowling gets a 12-yard gain out of it by Anderson, and it's first and 10 Maroons from their own 42. Dowling has taken the opening kickoff. Now handoff up the gut, and Phillip being bounced around, and he finally is driven down right at the 43. A tough gain of just a yard, but it looked like there was some opening there, but it was closed down quickly.
It was closed down quickly. Cole Rogers came up from his safety position and filled that hole. And there was a crease in there, and Rogers filled it in a hurry, only keeping CJ to a short gain.
All right, I'll bring up second down for Dowling, 2nd and 8. 9:20 left to go first quarter, no score. Dowling and Southeast Polk. Maroons on the opening drive after taking the opening kickoff. Here's Smolik back to throw on his feet. He's going to be wrestled down, and he may have lost a yard back to the 42-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down and 9 for Dowling at the 41-yard line.
Jackson didn't like what he saw and tried to dance through the middle there, and Sam Good stayed home, didn't over-pursue, and was able to track him down and get the loss on the play.
So it'll bring up 3rd down, 3rd and 9. Tonight's game on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, brought to you in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. Alongside Matt Maindring, this is Mark Amadale. John Chido on the Dowling sidelines once again this year. And the Maroons now will move Dave Phillip back to the backfield next to Smolik. Back to throw is Smolik. Fires the ball out. The pass is caught. And a nice reception by the tight end, Jalen Thompson, but be shy of the first down. They're going to mark forward progress at the 45, a gain of 3. It'll bring up 4th down for Dowling.
It will bring up 4th down. I think that was Hank Brown on the catch there. And just trying to get that 5-yard toss and have him break it, but Southeast Polk broke down really well, got the stop on the play.
Well, we're going to see Cooper Nicholson with his first varsity punt as he and Joe Vadane were battling out in camp.
He gives you a different threat back there, punting.
Other than punting.
Other than punting.
Long snapper is Carson Hagan. 7:45 left to go. High snap, and out Nicholson gets it away. It's a high end-over-end kick, and fielded by Southeast Polk. Oh, dangerous job that time, but Carson Robbins fields it, and they're going to spot it down at the 29-yard line. That's where the Rams will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 29. No score with 7:41 left to go first quarter. beautiful night here at Valley Stadium, 81 degrees. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and that is where John Chido is at tonight. Johnny?
Yeah, Southeast Polk's defense is tough up front, and it's been hard rushing the football for Dowling Catholic. And even when Dowling went to that empty set, Southeast Polk's committed to at least leaving 6 guys in the box.
Yeah, they're leaving a lot of one-on-one matchups there, so it'll be interesting to see as the game goes on how Dowling's going to try to take advantage of that.
All right, Connor Mobley taking his first varsity snap, and he hands it off to the tailback, Abu Sama, the Iowa State recruit. He's got the first down and loose in the secondary, down the far sideline, and he almost fell at the 30, and he picks up his feet and goes in for the touchdown. The Rams, from their own 28-yard line, score on the first play of the game, and Sama, oh my goodness, runs it in. Touchdown Southeast Polk from 72 yards.
Got the edge there. The play is that, they do that zone and zone read, and he bounced it outside, and they got it sealed off, and he got to the sideline. There was no catching him, and the last person to have an angle on him was Jared Rickey, and just nicked a heel on him, but he couldn't bring him down, and he scoots in.
Tremendous run by Abu Sama, a 5'11", 185-pound senior. He had 12 touchdowns last year for Southeast Polk. That one was from 72 yards from on the first play from scrimmage. Now the Rams having trouble getting their tackle, and they're going to have to burn a timeout. So we'll keep it here pending the extra point. It's Southeast Polk 6, Dowling Catholic nothing here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. And, hey, let's welcome in one of our, one of the guys. We're going to have several this year. And, David won the raffle, and he wanted to sit in with you and I here during the game, so we want to welcome him to our broadcast. And Dave, what do you think? I know it's what a time for me to bring you on, I know, but this is what I was kind of surprised all that. David Shetler from Holy Trinity, what do you think?
It's pretty impressive to be up here and watching the game up there. It's a beautiful night, and really appreciate it.
Who's with you tonight? Who's part of your family from Holy Trinity you brought?
I brought my son Tyler, and my son-in-law. I brought him as well. Kyle is his name.
Okay.
And then I also I won the raffle through the Holy Trinity with my granddaughter Madeline going to school. She's a kindergarten.
All right. Well, sit back. You like your seat?
Oh, I love it. I've never had this view before.
All right, we got to take a break. Extra point. That's David Shetler from Holy Trinity sitting in with us tonight. He won the Holy Trinity auction. Extra point is good by Josh Wilson of Southeast Polk. And 7-0 Southeast Polk. We'll take a break here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Weekdays at 5 p.m., it's Catholic Answers, a live call-in program to offer Catholics and non-Catholics a chance to talk with world-class apologists and theologians. Catholic Answers, live on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, connecting listeners with Christ.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. It's Southeast Polk leading Dowling 7-0 on Abu Sama's 72-yard run on the Rams' first play from scrimmage tonight. The kickoff now by Josh Wilson goes into the end zone, touchback. It'll be Dowling football, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line for the second time tonight. Dowling offense will be on the field. And let's go down to John Scheid on the Dowling sidelines. And, Johnny, we knew Sama was good, but he's really good. He outran the Dowling secondary on that first play.
Yeah, just like Coach Wilson said in his pregame interview, you cannot allow him to get into space because he's hard to track down, and he's just so shifty and quick. And once he got that edge, and they ran away from the Iowa commit, the 6'8" Caden Proctor, they actually ran opposite side, and And that's positive for Southeast Polk, but Dowling needs to keep Sama contained.
Exactly. That'll be the challenge tonight. Dowling with a first down from their own 20. Back to throw. Smolik has time, fires downfield. Pass is caught, and that is a nice catch by the Dowling tight end, Jalen Thompson. First down as he got across the 30, across the 35, and took tacklers with him.
Jalen got open over the middle there, and Jackson put it right on the numbers on him, and nice catch and run. And you wonder if they're going to pick up just a little bit of tempo here, because it's when you're moving, throwing the ball like that, and letting Southeast Polk get settled. So I think we're going to see a little more quickness between plays.
First and 10, Dowling on their own 39. That play went for 19 yards. Smolik on play action, fires left. Pass is caught. That's Thompson again. He's across midfield and down to the Southeast Polk 49-yard line. And they're hit a quick hitter that time. Thompson line up as a tight end on the left side, and just a little stop pattern, Matt.
It was. Thompson, it was more of a blocking tight end last year. He's got a ton of athletic ability, a tall kid, and he's really starting to blossom. And if he can create some things in the middle, that'll open things up on the edges as they go.
So Dowling now in Southeast Polk territory, picking up the first down. Thompson, a nice game that time of 12 yards. So it'll be first and 10 Maroons. Play action. Smolik to his left, fires it out. This time it's caught around the left end. That's Bo Gamble with the reception. And he's near a first down. They're going to spot forward progress down near the 40-yard line. They'll probably spot him down right at the 42 for a gain of 7.
Those quick hitters, and that's what I mean. The pace is starting to pick up here a little bit for this offense, and I think you're going to continue to see that from them as Smolik continues to have a hot hand.
Beautiful night here on the opening night of high school football on this August 26th. 81 degrees, east-southeast winds at 8 miles per hour, so the wind blowing from the visitor side to the home side here at Valley Stadium. Back to throw a Smolik. Lateral pass down the right sideline, and it's caught, and that's the first catch that time by Rashad Davis. And he showed his excitement. He's finally knocked out of bounds inside the 30 of Southeast Polk. Picked up the first down for the young sophomore.
He did. When they're committing so many guys to the box right now, Southeast Polk is, and in there tight, and you put Rashad in motion out there. It's one-on-one matchups. They got the blocks, and he got the crease and was able to scoot down the sideline.
15-yard reception that time by Rashad Davis. First down, Dowling. Maroons go with an empty backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Back to throw Smolik. Now wants to run. Can't find a hole. Rolls to his right, and he throws it away. Pass intended nearly. Nearest receiver was Will Leifker, and he was kind of like the fifth receiver.
Leifker did have his feet inbounds, but his torso was on the ground when he caught the ball. And really a good play to scramble out of that and save the sack there for Smolik.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Skeffington's Formal Wear, along with Catholic Tuition Organization and Mercy One. 2nd and 10, Dowling, the ball in the Southeast Polk 27. Southeast Polk leads 7-0 on the 72-yard run by Abu Sama. Here's a little swing pass caught by Rashad Davis. Slips a tackle inside the 25. Still on his feet, and he's near a first down to be brought down right around the 20. He needed to get to the 18. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Maroons, and an outstanding extra gear that time by Rashad.
Yeah, you can see a little bit why Coach Wilson's excited about Rashad right there. Once he caught that ball, there was a defender from Southeast Polk coming up, but he stuck his foot in the ground, changed directions, and turned what was going to be a 1-yard gain into a 7-yard gain.
So it's 3rd down and 2 for Dowling. The Maroons will send out 3 receivers to the right. That includes the tight end for Dowling, Jalen Thompson. He'll be the middle of those 3 receivers to the right. 2 to the left, empty backfield. Here's Smolik, back to throw, searches the field, rolls to his left, has time, fires the ball in the end zone. He threw it away. Incomplete. The closest receiver for Dowling Catholic may have been Gamble, and that'll bring up 4th and short for Dowling.
4th and short at this position in the field, and Smolik's been throwing the ball pretty well, and the protection he's been getting, you can see that Coach Wilson's going to roll the dice early in the game.
Ball's on the 19-yard line of Southeast Polk, and the Maroons are going to come in with they're going to keep their offensive unit out there. So Cooper Nicholson will be slot receiver to the right, and they'll go with that's a full. They got a lot of linemen in there, tight ends, and now we got a timeout called, I think, by Dowling. So we will keep it here with the score: Southeast Polk 7, Dowling nothing here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. That'll bring in John Chido, and Johnny, pretty good execution. This drive started back at the 20-yard line. Thompson, Gamble, and then Rashad Davis, a couple of passes from quarterback Smolik.
Yeah, it has. It's been these short, quick passes because the corners and safeties are playing off. They're committing to the box and to stop the run, and Dowling has been able to complete those short passes. And Jalen Thompson has had a couple nice receptions. Rashad Davis with that nice reception. They're doing a lot of movement on offense, keeping. And I noticed Southeast Polk is very confused in the defensive backfield. They're kind of getting late to their spots a little bit. They seem like they got it figured out there the last couple plays, and this becomes a huge 4th down and 2. Obviously, Dowling needs to convert this to commit the drive alive.
No question, and Maroons still going for it. They bring their offensive unit in there, Matt. Be interested to see what it's called. 2 receivers to the right. Empty back, or check that. Cooper Nicholson goes in motion. Here's the snap. Smolik with the ball, fires to his right. The pass is caught and then dropped, incomplete. Had it in his hands, did Cooper Nicholson, but it fell out. And Southeast Polk will take over on downs as the pass was a little high for Cooper. He had it in his hands, and when he came down, the ball came out.
Cole Rogers with a nice hit there for Southeast Polk to jar that ball loose out of Cooper Nicholson's hands. And you're right, Cooper had to go up and get that ball a little bit and came down, would have been a 1st down and extended the drive, but the hit came before Cooper could get that ball under control and on the ground.
So the Rams take over on their own 19-yard line. 5 minutes, 3 seconds left to play, first quarter. And it's Southeast Polk leading Dowling 7-0 here at Valley Stadium on the opening night of high school football. Beautiful night to be outdoors and a pretty good crowd. Matter of fact, one of the better crowds we've seen here at Valley Stadium. On first down, handoff to Sama once again, and he goes over left guard and picks up a few yards up to the 22 of Southeast Polk, gain of 3.
And it was a good push up front, and that's the talent that Abu Sama has. Is it looked like it should have been a 1-yard gain, and it ends up being about a 4-yard gain, and he's able to finish the runs going forward, and that's what those good backs continually do.
2nd down, 7 for Southeast Polk, and didn't get a chance to mention their offensive starters, and we'll do that here because the first play they ran went for a touchdown. Back to throw for his first pass. Connor Mobley fires out. It's caught shy of the first down as Dowling defenders catch up to him at about the 26-yard line. They'll spot it. Gain of 4, and a nice gain that time by the Rams, and that was number 8, Owen Wignall.
Jimmy Wanick there come up and make a hit on that play to stop to prevent him from getting any farther down the field and create this 3rd and short. Quick, here's an early test for this defensive front, and you see how this three-man front's going to react here for Dowling.
3rd down and 2 for Southeast Polk. The quarterback is Connor Mobley, a 6'4 junior. That was his first varsity pass attempt, as he did not play at all last year, behind Jackson Daly, who has graduated. Here's the snap. They fake it to Sama. Back to throw is Mobley. Fires out. Got a man open. The pass is incomplete. Knocked away nicely at the last moment by Dowling Catholic, and I believe that was Jared Rickey who was on coverage.
Jared Rickey, he played some last year for him and did a really good job in that secondary, and right there showed his experience. That ball was in the air, and you run into an issue when that ball is underthrown just a little bit because the receiver did have a step on him, and you're always worried about a pass interference, but he played it right, played the ball, knocked it down, and get the stop.
So you're saying nice form defense, tackling. When the receiver slows down, sometimes that causes the defensive back to run into him. That didn't happen with Rickey that time.
That didn't happen. No, he had his head in the swivel and did a really good job of playing the ball.
So back-to-back incompletions for Southeast Polk, and they're forced to punt. And their punter is also their kicker, Josh Wilson. And he did not punt at all last year. Dowling has twin safeties. The Maroons now on the return, they pick it up and they run out of bounds with it very quickly. And that is Trey Wilson, the sophomore, with the return. He and Cooper Nicholson back in twin safety. So Dowling will have a first down as they'll spot it at the 40-yard line of Dowling. The Maroons have pretty good field position. Speaking of always good field position, that's our sideline guy this year, and that is John Chido. Johnny?
Yeah, it's a great seat. Best seat in the house.
That's what they say.
Outdoors, nice breeze, but now Dowling's defense settled down there, we can say, and they needed to do that. They kept Sama contained, which is important. Dowling needs to continue that drive, that momentum. Now they just need to finish it.
All right, first down Maroons. Line of scrimmage is their own 40-yard line. And the quarterback is Jackson Smolik with 2 receivers left. Smolik fakes the handoff, fires it out, and that is caught. And that's Leifker, that utility back, if you will, catches it off the tight end spot that time, and no gain on the play, it looks like.
No gain in the play. Great reaction by Bryce Bolio and company out there for Southeast Polk as they reacted to it and slid out with Leifker and didn't allow the game. That's one of those plays that's setting up something else. You know, you throw it early, you get the defense to attack the ball, and then you try to go over top later.
I'll take your word for that, because I'm sure that's what's happening. 2nd and 10, Dowling. Maroons with 3 receivers right, and the tight end on the right. The Maroons on the left hash. They go left to right, south to north here at Valley Stadium. Here is Smolik. Looks to his right, fires it out, and the pass is caught, but for a short game, nicely done that time. Nice pass reception by Hank Brown, but he was hit as he caught it, Matt.
Zeb Hins for Southeast Polk on the hit right there. Made sure it was a no gain, no yards after catch on that one. But that's a strong throw. That ball's in the air a long time, and that nice strong throw by Jackson. It's a 5-yard pickup. It's a good play.
So it brings up 2nd down. Or check that, 3rd and 5 for Dowling. Maroons do not huddle. They call their plays from their position on the field. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Smolik with Phillip in the backfield. Back to throw is Smolik, fires it out, and the pass is nearly picked off and intercepted by Southeast Polk, and it's not. It's finally knocked down and incomplete. Zeb Hins, you just talked about him, nearly had a pick 6.
He did. He was reading that one all the way, and he's playing to the wide side of the field every time. So they're flip-flopping Zeb to the strong side of the wide side of the field, and he can play in space, and he showed it there.
So Dowling will be forced to punt. Back deep for Southeast Polk will be Abu Sama, number 3, and Carson Robbins, number 2. Punting for Dowling, and only his 2nd time in his career, and that'll be Cooper Nicholson. He stands at his own 31-yard line, awaiting the snap from Hagan. Good snap, kick high, end over end, and fielded by Southeast Polk at their own 26-yard line. And it's a fair catch, so breaking the action with 1:46 left in the first quarter, 7-0. Southeast Polk leading Dowling Catholic here in the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Mark Hamadale, Matt Maindring here in the press box at Valley Stadium. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and that is where John Chido is at. And Johnny, give us an update. The Maroon offense that time didn't get across midfield.
Yeah, and I noticed that Southeast Polk has changed things in the back end of their the defensive side of the football. Instead of keeping that extra guy in the box, now they got 3-on-3 with the receivers and 2-on-2 when they go to that 5 wide. So they're taking away those shorter routes and stuff like that. So I would imagine next series you'll see a lot more running with Dowling's offense.
Yeah, a lot of scheming going on there, Matt Maindring, it sounds like. A lot of different scheming. Pug Starcevich, the defensive coordinator for Southeast Polk, along with Brad Zelenovich. Here's a little swing pass to the left side, caught by the Rams, and that is a nice reception that time by Carson Robbins, and he's got the first down and more down the near sideline right in front of the Dowling bench across the 40.
That play is designed for the tackle. I couldn't tell if that was Proctor that came out and knocked off Ricky off of the tackle, because Ricky was right there, and they take that edge and they knock him off right away and allowed the big gain on the play.
Yeah, 16-yard gain that time for Robbins, as the Rams have Joe Zelenovich, Carson Robbins, and Cooper Boutel, the 3 receivers, primary receivers. Now an inside handoff, and they hand it to Abu Sama, and he's hit and driven under back at the 40-yard line. He'll lose 2 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Right there, Jimmy Wannick came up and just stuffed that play at the line of scrimmage, and they got the push there, and Abu Sama didn't have any. The offensive line moved backwards, and nowhere to go.
Quick moving game. Both teams do not huddle, and now Southeast Polk going to their bench and getting their signals. Offensive line, Caden Proctor at left tackle, Gavin Douglas at left guard for Southeast Polk. Parker Strawn is the new center, a 6-foot junior. Braden Harmon is the right guard, and Carson Campisi the right tackle. And now we've got a stoppage.
Looked like a little motion. They had guys run. It was almost like Canadian football there for a second. They were going a little early.
And you're exactly right. Procedure call against the Rams. That'll back them up 5 yards to the 35-yard line. So it'll bring up 2nd and 17. And I believe, is that our first penalty of the night? Because everything else has been timeouts.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, pretty clean game for the first game of the year. And coaches called a couple timeouts to save, I think, penalties, but two well-coached teams.
Craig Van Vark's crew, he is our referee. Now back to throw is Moberly. He fires it out on the run. It's incomplete as he tried to hit his receiver on the crossing route. And that'll bring up 3rd and 17 for the Rams. The line of scrimmage is the Southeast Polk 35, Southeast Polk 7, Dowling nothing. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. It doesn't affect the wind tonight, Matt, because it's blowing right at us. It's a crosswind here at Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. So no advantage there. The sun is pretty much down. We're all in the lights are starting to take effect. So what I'm trying to say, it doesn't make a difference what side of the field you're on,
no,
right?
It doesn't.
All right, here's the Rams. They'll go with a shotgun formation for quarterback Connor Mobley. 3 receivers right, 2 to left. Now he escapes one tackler. Mobley still on his feet. Loses the football, and Dowling's got it. Dowling's got it right at the 30-yard line. And the Maroons now all over the player that got it. We'll have to go down to John because that is just a sea of Dowling Maroon jerseys. And Moberly fumbles the ball after eluding tacklers, and Dowling will take over with 32 seconds left in the first quarter, Matt.
That was that Jack player that Johnny was talking about earlier. That's Braden Pearson there, jumps on the ball, and Mobley was going to just double clutch and pull that ball down, and he just put it on the ground, and Maroons were there to recover.
All right, Johnny, you're down there. Who got the fumble?
Matt's spot on, and even if he wasn't, I'd still have his back. But, he did call it right.
That's a good teammate, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So Braden Pearson? There you're
Braden
talking about?
Pearson.
Braden
yes.
Pearson. All right. Fumble recovery. Dowling now with the ball. First down at the 31 of Southeast Polk. 2 receivers left, tight end on the right, and they hand it up right at the gut, does Dowling, to their Rashad Davis, and he may have gotten a couple yards.
Yeah, he got almost 5 yards in that play, 4 yards it looks like.
They're going to put it down at the 27, gain of 4. I'll take that,
and
man.
Mark and John, I'll challenge you. When's the last time that Dowling's only run 3 rushing plays or 2 rushing plays in a quarter?
Not that I can recall. That's one.
I think that's only that might only be the second handoff or the third.
And Smolik was got the sack.
A couple sacks, yeah.
All right, we've come to the end of the first quarter from Valley Stadium on a beautiful night. 81 degrees, partly cloudy here in central Iowa. Humidity up there at 52%. We'll be back for the second quarter, but Southeast Polk leads Dowling 7-0 here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is a Young Catholic Minute. I don't believe in hell. A loving God wouldn't send anybody to such a place.
You're right. A loving God wouldn't do that. But he's not going to force anyone to go to heaven either. If you dislike a certain relative and they knew it, is it loving of them to be around every chance they got? No. If they really loved you, they'd let you decide if you wanted to be around them or not. It's the same thing with God. He loves us, but won't force us to love him back. Because true love can't be forced. God gives us our lives on earth as a way to choose if we want to love him and spend eternity with him in heaven, or if we want to reject him and live apart from him in hell. So how do we know how to love God? Pray for guidance and grace, follow the commandments in the church, seek the truth, and let it lead you right to heaven. For more Young Catholic Minutes, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. I want to welcome CISN.TV to our broadcast tonight. Smolik back to throw, fires in the end zone. It's got Cooper Nicholson open, but overthrows him, incomplete. And that was a nice route that Cooper ran. And now, as he went off the back end of the end zone, Matt, the field turf goes into cement and he slips, but I think he's going to be up and at him and okay.
Yeah, Jackson took a little bit of a hit there from Sam Good, blitzing off the corner right there. And he turned it loose to Cooper Nicholson and tried to get him fit it in there, but it didn't quite go. And I believe... Yeah.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 6 for Dowling. The Maroons trail 7-0 as we begin the second quarter here at Valley Stadium. And the Maroons trying to take advantage of a Moberly fumble for Southeast Polk. Dowling on the Ram 27. 2 receivers on each side of the formation. No tight end. And now penalty flag down, and so is the play clock, and it'll be a penalty against Dowling. So it'll back the Maroons up 5 yards. Each team has had a penalty tonight. And the Maroons will be back to the 32-yard line.
And that's it's a big 5 yards, as it always is when you get in this side of the field. But the Maroons have been successful with a lot of those 5-yard passes, and yet to see anything much longer than that.
All right, here is Smolik out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left, looks left, has one on the right. Now he's going to fire right, and he fires it incomplete as he had a receiver, Hank Brown, right around the 10-yard line and underthrew him, and that'll bring up 4.
Jackson slipped and fell there as he was throwing the football. The offensive line did an outstanding job of picking up the rush and gave Jackson plenty of time. Great coverage there in the secondary by Southeast Polk. So this part of the field, this isn't a surprise that Coach Wilson would think about going for it.
So it brings up 4th and 11 for the Maroons on the incompletion. Line of scrimmage is a 32-yard line of Southeast Polk. Dowling going for it. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Man in motion is C.J. Phillip. And now Smolik, empty backfield now. Long count. Here's the snap. Smolik looks left, looks over the middle, fires the ball, and it's caught. First down, Maroons inside the 15-yard line, and a sliding catch there by the shortstop, Cooper Nicholson.
Cooper Nicholson, yeah.
He knows that position well.
He knows that position well, and that ball had some smoke on it. Jackson let it rip, and Cooper adjusted while the ball was in the air, slid and caught it.
First down, Dowling at the 14-yard line of Southeast Polk. That's a gain of 18 yards and a Dowling first down on the play. 3 receivers left. Davis in the backfield. Smolik back throw. Austin in the end zone, and it's caught by Cooper Nicholson. Did he get in? Touchdown. He stayed inside the boundary. Touchdown, Dowling.
High school football, you only need 1 foot, and there was 1 foot down. And he got it in there, and great catch by Cooper Nicholson, and evens things up with the extra point if we can get it through.
Absolutely. 11-17 remaining here in the second quarter, and Dowling takes advantage of a Southeast Polk turnover as the Maroons go 4 plays, 31 yards, capped off by Jackson Smolik pass of 14 yards to Cooper Nicholson, and now the extra point by Schumacher. It's up, and it is good. On the hold that time by Dowling Catholic, and that is Jack Jepson on the hold and Carson Hagan, the long snapper, and Schumacher drills it through. We're tied at 7, 11-17 left in the first quarter. We'll return to Valley Stadium after this timeout on Iowa Catholic Radio and CISN.
Has anyone ever told you to pray about it and left you thinking, okay, but how? First, invite the Holy Spirit to be with you as you talk to God. Think about what is going on in your heart and mind. Be honest. Acknowledge to God what you're thinking, feeling, and desiring, because He wants you, the real you. Then tell Him about what you're experiencing and entrust that to Him. Finally, let the Father love us. Ask yourself, how is God loving me right now? He is loving always. Sometimes we need to stop and think of our blessings, because that is where we can find God.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Brian Gonzalez from St. Augustine's Parish in Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hey, we're back here at Valley Stadium. Here's a kickoff by Dowling Catholic and a squib kick down to the middle of the field, picked up about the 7-yard line for Southeast Polk. They return it across the 20 and up near the 25 on the return for the Rams, one of their upbacks handling the football. And that was number 14 for Southeast Polk. Yeah. And that being Cooper Butel. He is one of the in the wide receiver mix, but Dowling scoring, as we mentioned. 4 plays, 31 yards, and the Dowling scorer taking advantage of a fumble by the Southeast Polk quarterback, Connor Moberly, and it's tied at 7. Let's go down to John Chido real quick before the Rams snap the ball here, Johnny.
Yeah, we're going to have to go back on that 4th and 11 completion to Nicholson.
Yeah.
Thank you, because he found that hole, and that was a huge play.
That was a great throw by Jackson Smolik. And now the Rams kind of bailing out. Thank you, John, for that report. And they throw it off the back of his foot, and a catch for a first down by Southeast Polk.
There is laundry on the field at the 23, and I think we're going to get a hold.
Holding on Southeast Polk.
Yeah.
Trying to think who that reception was by for the Rams. It looked like it was Joe Zelenovic, the coach's son, with the catch. But that's going to come back on the hold by Southeast Polk.
I think it was Owen Wignall on over the middle, and I was watching him the whole route. He was wide open the whole route, and then Mobley finally found him late, as it was a mix-up in the coverage because he ran pretty clean through the middle.
The Rams have that big offensive line. Proctor, 6'8", 345 at left tackle. The right tackle is Campisi, 6'4", 300. Campisi, the junior. Proctor, the only senior. Douglas, Strawn, and Harmon are all juniors, and 260, 270, 250. So a huge offensive line. One of them was Gildy. So first and 22, and what do we got here?
A good play by Braden Pearson to stay out of. He was going to have pass interference and dove out of the way because his timing was a little bit off on the play, and the ball was off. Being
incomplete. The ball got moved back due to the penalty of holding on Southeast Polk. Again, that's a spot foul based on where the hold held. So they're back at the 15-yard line. So they're marching backwards here out of this segment. So it brings up second down and 22 from the 15. And now Moberly fires it out, and he had a tremendous push, and he finally bailed out and found a receiver, and he gets up to the 30-yard line. So
Carson Robbins on the catch. Moberly left his feet to make that throw and got hit just as he released it. And I think the coaches will tell him the next time, just keep your feet.
Yeah, well, it was a 15-yard gain, but how did he get away? And that wasn't probably fundamentally strong. Nonetheless, it's 3rd and 7 for Southeast Polk. They'll go back to throw as Moberly scrambled again. Almost got him in the backfield. Fires it out. It's caught for the first down as he found the little drag route underneath. And that was Zelenovic with the catch.
Yeah, great awareness by Moberly there because I believe that was Carson Hagan chasing him down. Or it might have been Brayton Pearson, maybe. No, Jimmy Wanick. And Moberly just kept his head open and saw the play and hit Zelenovic for a first down.
Well, a 15-yard gain, reception by Robbins, and now Zelenovic with an 8-yard gain gives Southeast Polk a first down at their own 38-yard line. Tied at 7. We're under 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter from a beautiful night at Valley Stadium. Now they'll go back to the ground game. They hand off to the tailback, and that is the backup tailback, Harrison Gibson, the 5'10", 190-pound senior. He didn't go out for football last year. Been part of the program the first few years in the middle school, but Coach said he didn't go out last year, came back out this year, and now he's up to number 2 in the depth chart.
Hey, Abu Sama, he's playing both ways. He's playing both sides of the ball, played a little bit of defense. They give him a breather on this series.
So Gibson carries it up to the 46-yard line. They'll give him a gain of 8 on his first touch in varsity play, and it'll bring up 2nd and 2 for the Rams. Moberly out of the shotgun, and the give once again is to Gibson, and he slices through, breaks a tackle, he's inside Dowling territory, and finally wrestled down, picks up the first down at the Maroon 44.
You're going to see, I think, a little bit of adjustment for the defense. You know, you're switching the defensive styles and everything else. Going to that 3-man front, you've got 3 guys up front trying to consume all of the blockers from Southeast Polk, and that's an experienced bunch there. And those linebackers got to find their alleys and run to the football. And right now, the Southeast Polk front's starting to win the game.
Well, Gibson, an 8-yard run, that time an 11-yard run. 1st and 10 Rams are in Dowling territory at the Dowling 43. 3 receivers to the right. And the one back is Gibson. They hand it off to him left. He's in the open field. He's got the first down inside the 30, and he's finally wrestled down inside the 20. First down Rams. They went against the strong side, Matt, and they went to the short side of the field to pick up yardage. And Gibson running hard off the bench.
He is. He's running with some passion there. Matt Hatton on the stop for the Maroons and hit Gibson up a little bit high and took a little bit of a ride there, but ended up getting him down to prevent the touchdown.
Well, I think that big offensive line, we talked about it, Proctor, Douglas, Strawn, Harmon, Sam Good, the tight end, and every once in a while, Braden Lundgren, the backup tight end, are in there. 1st and 10 Rams on the 20 of Dowling. And now into the end zone. They fired it, and it is incomplete. It went off a receiver, Zelenovic, into the Dowling defender's hands and then rolled out of bounds. It was, the tip drill in effect.
It was, and at first it almost looked like it was going to be a touchdown. It slipped out of his hands. Great position out there. I believe, again, Jared Rickey on the play and almost came down with it for the interception.
So Rickey touched it last. It went out of bounds on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, Southeast Polk. The ball in the Dowling 20.
That was Jake Anderson on the play there. Jake Anderson on the play.
So the Rams now with a 2nd and 10. Here's the snap. And they hand it off, and this time it's Sama back in there. And he's got the first down and more inside the 10 and finally wrestled down at the 6-yard line. So they just interchange their backs and get a good block on that left side. And, again, that's where Proctor's at. Proctor, Douglas, and Strawn. Nice hole open for the Ram offensive line.
Sama in the backfield that time stuck his foot in the ground and changed directions and followed Proctor up to that left side and found that crease, and that is hard to stop.
So Gibson had runs of 8, 11, and 23 yards. Sama comes in and gets a 14-yard run. 1st and goal, Southeast Polk at the 6-yard line of Dowling. They'll bring in an extra tight end with 2 receivers to the right. Handoff, Sama left side. Sidesteps the tackler, goes into the end zone, dives for the pylon, touchdown Rams. And Southeast Polk now retakes the lead, 13-7 with 7.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. What a drive by the Rams that went basically 85 yards after that penalty of holding earlier in the drive.
Yeah, great recovery after that penalty, and Dowling had him in a hole, and if we go back to the play that made it was Mobley getting out of the pressure on that 3rd down and making the completion to Zelenovic.
Second touchdown of the night for Abu Sama, and the extra point now as Trey Nave will hold, and here's the extra point up and good by Gibson. Or check that, Josh Wilson with the extra point. It's 14-7. Southeast Polk leads Dowling. 7 minutes, 38 seconds left. Second quarter. We'll return to Valley Stadium on the opening night of high school football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Iowa Catholic Radio business underwriters provide people with the opportunity to hear the Word of God and grow in their faith each and every day. Our business supporters have helped expand our network, connecting more listeners to Christ. Would your business or organization like to share in this mission? If you own or manage a business, we would like to talk to you about how you can make a positive impact in the state of Iowa and beyond. To learn more about becoming an Iowa Catholic Radio underwriter, contact Deacon Mark 515-223-1150 or visit iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Monday through Friday at 3 p.m., it's Cresta in the Afternoon. Speaker and author Al Cresta looks at life through the lens of Scripture and the teaching of the Catholic Church, providing conversation about the things that matter most. Cresta in the Afternoon on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines alongside Matt Maindring, Mark Amadale. Year 46 of Iowa Catholic Radio's coverage of Dowling football. Southeast Polk leads at 14-7. Now the kickoff goes into the end zone touchback. There'll be no return. And let's go down to our sideline reporter. That's John Chido, who is with us tonight. Johnny, that was quite the drive by the Rams. They went 9 plays, 85 yards, capped off by an Abu Sama 6-yard run.
Yeah, and the drive was kept alive. Remember, Southeast Polk had 3rd and long. And I tell you, Carson Hagan has been doing a great job going against Caden Proctor. He was right there, had the sack, and the quarterback Mobley just eluded him, and they was able to continue that drive. And then they had some big plays, and they finished it off with that touchdown run by Sama.
Yeah, I think Southeast Polk, Matt, really, as John mentioned, kind of got back to what they do in best. That's run the football. Dowling back to throw on first down. Smolik airs it out. He's got a man open, and was it a catch?
Yes.
And officials look at each other. First down, Dowling inside the 40 of Southeast Polk, and there's some Ram coaches that say, no, it wasn't. First down at the 37 of Southeast Polk, man. A great catch that time by the Maroons.
Was that Bo Gamble on the catch?
I think it was Bo on the catch.
Yeah, it was Bo Gamble. Well, it doesn't matter what the coaches think. It really matters what the officials think. So officials said catch.
That's all that counts. So it's a first down, Maroons. Line of scrimmage is the Southeast Polk 37-yard line, that play. went for 43 yards. Back to throw Smolik, rolls to his left, throws the under pattern. It's caught by Jalen Thompson, and he's out of bounds. They're going to call right around the 21-yard line.
Right there, they get great pressure or great protection by that offensive line, allowed Smolik to roll out, and he had all kinds of time, and finally went and chose Jalen Thompson to throw the football to. And it's going to be close to a first down. Yeah, they're going to give it.
No measurement?
No measurement. You don't.
With carpet, you don't need it.
We did carpet. You don't. We've had this discussion.
Yep.
In the old days, the paint might not have been as straight. Now it doesn't lie.
And he also had a crown on the field. First down, Maroons. The line of scrimmage is 26 of Southeast Polk. Smolik out of the shotgun, avoids pressure, rolls up, steps up in the pocket, throws in the end zone for the pylon. The pass is caught, but out of bounds, incomplete. Nice job that time by, I think it's Cooper Nicholson down there once again with the reception.
Yeah. Cooper Nicholson, a little bit of contact down there as Smolik did a good job of escaping the rush and found a crease, stepped up, and let loose on the football.
Nicholson, Bo Gamble, some big catch tonight, and we're pretty sure that long catch on first down at 43 yards was by Bo Gamble. John Chido will verify that for us, I'm sure, when he gets a moment.
Yes, it was.
Then we got second down and 10. Dowling on the 26-yard line of Southeast Polk. Just under 7 minutes left here in the second quarter on CISN and Iowa Catholic Radio tonight as we simulcast. Back to throw Smolik, fires underneath, and that pass is caught by Bo Gamble. Nice inside pivot, gets inside the 15 and right out of bounds at the 14-yard line. A 7-yard gain by Bo, and he showed his niftiness, had a kind of a jump stop, an inside pivot. Oh, that's a basketball term. And then he got outside down the near boundary.
He did, and the Southeast Polk defender had a nice angle on him, but Bo had switched directions and headed back towards the boundary and had a nice gain on that.
7-yard reception. So Dowling with a 43-yard reception, a 16-yard, and now a 7. And it's first and 10, Dowling at the Polk 14. Smolik with one back in the backfield. And that is C.J. Phillip. He gets the handoff. He's going to go in for the score. C.J. Phillip right up the gut over right guard, and then he bounced outside the right side to the right hash. Touchdown is Dowling now 1 point away from tying it up on a C.J. Phillip 14-yard touchdown run.
C.J. Phillip, they've been spreading the field, and that offensive line created a crease for him, and he hit it and kept his hips square as he was going up the field and got into the end zone.
So now offenses have picked up the extra point by Schumacher, and it is up and on the hold by Jack Jepson. The kick is good. Carson Hagan with the snap. So Dowling now has tied it up at 14 with 6:43 left here in the second quarter. We'll be back after this timeout here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is David Ortega from St. Joseph Parish in Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Back here at Valley Stadium, Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, John Chido. The kickoff by Dowling Catholic, and it is booted at the 20-yard line, kind of a directional kick, and returned by Southeast Polk up across the 20, near the 30-yard line is where the Rams will have it, first and 10 from their own 30-yard line as Dowling ties it up on a 5-play, 80-yard drive, capped off by a C.J. Phillip 14-yard run. And John Chido on the Dowling sideline, we may be in for a shootout here because both defenses now are having troubles, and it's going to be a matter of who stops who, but a nice execution by the Dowling offense, Johnny.
Yeah, it sure was, and it was capped off by C.J. with a nice cutback run. He was supposed to come play side A gap. He cut it back to the backside and was able to find a crease, and that was the first time Dowling's had an actual nice positive run play, and it was for a touchdown.
Coach John Chido on the Dowling sideline, and Johnny will be interviewing head coach Tom Wilson as he does throughout the season, the last few seasons, at halftime, and now first down carry, or near first down, a 9-yard carry by Southeast Polk, and that's Sama again, and I think he may check out, and we may see Harrison Gibson in there.
I think that was Gibson on the run right there, running behind Proctor again, and Southeast Polk has made the determination they're going to flip-flop those backs around. Gibson's getting the ball in the middle of the field here, and they're just steamrolling right now.
So the Rams now with a 2nd and 1 from their own 38. Gibson with the handoff, and he's hitting the backfield and drop. He may lose a yard, and he does. Nice penetration in the backfield that time by Dowling Catholic as Gibson is wrestled down for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, Cody Hikus right there stood him up in the middle of the field and made the play from that nose guard, or from that right tackle position, and he said, I've had enough of this. They got to get a stop, and let's see what happens here on 3rd and 1. How this Dowling defense reacts out of this new front.
3rd and 1 from the 38. I
formation,
formation,
on
loose
the ground.
football. The fullback picked it up, and Maroon's going to push the pile back. Not sure who got it. It looks like Southeast Polk retains possession, and again, trouble with the football for the Ram offense.
I don't know, John. Was that supposed to be a direct snap?
That was no. So they had Caden Proctor in the backfield that lined up at fullback.
Okay.
And so the ball was kind of bobbled. I don't know if it went through the quarterback or what, but it hit Proctor right in the hands and right to the ground, and Dowling was right there to secure it. But I just noticed on 3rd and 1 they had Caden Proctor. We were going to see him carry the football.
Yeah, no, the ball, but as you mentioned, the snap to Moberly, but now the punter can't handle the snap, and he's going to have to take off with it. He does. That's Josh Wilson, and he's run out of bounds at the Ram 33-yard line, and that's where the Dowling offense will take over with 4:35 left to go here in the first half. The Maroons now have flipped the field defensively on a pair of turnovers by the Rams.
You saw it in the first punt that the snap didn't get back to the punter. It hit the ground and bounced right to the punter. And on this one, had trouble getting back there again. Just a really good job by Jimmy Wanek on that play, staying home, because that punter, he had an opportunity to run up that sideline, but Wanek stayed home, gets him out of bounds, prevents the first down.
So he lost 2 yards back to the 33, and it'll be Dowling football, 1st and 10 from the Ram 33 with 4:36 left here in the second quarter. Dowling with the ball, a little swing pass, and that is caught, and that is Will Leifker with the reception, and he moves upfield inside the 30 down to about the Ram 27-yard line.
You know, that play right there for the Dowling defense is almost like another turnover, and you mentioned it in the pregame, Mark, how last year they weren't able to turn other teams over, and 2 plays here now have given them opportunities to take advantage of those turnovers.
Yeah, that was a note that I kind of picked up on, as Dowling last year forced 3 fumbles and had 5 interceptions. Well, tonight they've already forced 2 fumbles. All right, the Maroons with the 2nd and 5 from the 28 of Southeast Polk, and they'll give it to Phillip. CJ looking for a hole, sprints outside, trying to get the edge, turns up, cuts upfield down near the 20-yard line, and he picks up the first down. Nice job by CJ Phillip. He kind of let the hole develop, and then it was clogged right about the linebacker spot, and then he kind of darted outside, Matt, towards the boundary.
Yeah, and bounced it outside. You know, that's one of the things for CJ. He's not the blazer. He's not going to run away and get by people, but he's got enough speed that when he got to the edge right there, he was able to get to the boundary and get that first down, and just a nice, strong run by him.
7-yard run for C.J. Phillip. First down Dowling. A little swing pass, and that's caught by Bo Gamble. A little square-out pattern on the right side. Gets inside the 10. They're going to spot him down right at the 14-yard line. Pick up a 7.
That quick hitter right there, and that's the efficiency that this offense was looking for. And, now they're starting to get that mix of run-pass that makes it a dangerous offensive front.
Second down, 3 for Dowling Catholic on the Southeast Polk 14-yard line. 3:25 remaining here in the second quarter. Tied at 14. Number 2 Southeast Polk, number 3 ranked Dowling. And a handoff right up the gut, and that is the tailback, and that is the backup tailback, Rashad Davis, on the carry, and he gets up inside, maybe to the 13-yard line. Short gain that time, a 1.
Carter Pesic, I believe, is number 26 there, came up and made the stop on that play as Rashad tried to find that crease off tackle, and Pesic filled it in a hurry.
Maroons will have Gamble and Nicholson split out wide to the left. Nicholson will be the slot receiver. Dowling going with 2 tight ends and a fullback. Here's Smolik. He'll send C.J. Phillip in motion. A little swing pass to Phillip. It's caught. He does a nice spin move and spins his way down to the 15-yard line, but that's a loss of 2. Nice penetration in the backfield that time. Well read by the defensive back for the Rams.
It's a name you might recognize, Abu Sama there on the stop, and did a good job of avoiding the block and was able to get CJ down before he was able to get his wheels under him. So here's the first field goal attempt for Schumacher.
It is. It'll be spotted at the 22. This will be a 32-yard field goal for Schumacher. His first varsity attempt, the hold. And the kick is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And it gives Dowling its first lead of the night with 2:05 remaining, 17-14 Dowling. How about that? Andrew Schumacher with a 32-yard field goal. A nice hold that time by Jack Jepson and a perfect stamp by Carson Hagan. Gives Dowling the lead. We'll return for the kickoff. Dowling 17, Southeast Polk 14 here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Jimmy, do you take Judy to be your wife? To have and to hold?
Uh-huh.
For richer or poorer?
Okay.
Are you listening, Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Till death do you part?
Sure, right after I finish putting up this wall between us. There.
Jimmy, you're not dead yet.
When you use artificial contraception, it's like putting a wall between you and your spouse. Couples who instead regulate fertility naturally experience happier marriages and are less likely to divorce. Tear down the wall.
A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercyone.org.
At noon, Monday through Friday, the doctor is in. Dr. Ray Garendi helps you with personal problems and professional questions. You'll love his fun approach and practical advice. The doctor is in on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, connecting listeners with Christ.
Well, Dowling scoring and taking the lead on a 32-yard field goal by Andrew Schumacher. His first varsity field goal attempt, and now the short kick by Dowling, and they take it to the up back, and it's returned by Southeast Polk, but he's gang tackled right at the 30-31 yard line is where the Rams will have it with 2 minutes left to go in the first half, and Dowling, Matt, having its first lead of the night.
Well, there's laundry on the floor here because I think they're going to say that was a horse collar on that tackle. At least it looked pretty bad from up here like it might be one. Yes.
So the penalty be assessed Dowling, and they'll march the other way. John Chidle's on the Dowling sideline. How about that for the Maroons taking the lead on a field goal, Johnny?
Yeah, and Andrew Schumacher had a nice kick there for his first field goal attempt as a starting varsity kicker. But you know what the good sign is Dowling converted in the red zone now twice with the touchdown, the field goal. I think the first touchdown was quite just outside the red zone, but they've had much success this game converting in the red zone.
And taking advantage of 2 fumbles. Now back to throw is Moberly. He fires the near side. The pass is, they rule.
Incomplete.
And they do wave it off, I believe. Yep, they'll put it back. As the line of scrimmage, a penalty against Dowling moved the ball up to the 46-yard line. That's where the Rams are working from.
Jake Anderson working the short side of the field there on the defense for that in that corner position was able to knock that ball away.
After Dowling was guilty of, as Matt said, the horse collar penalty, which Rams would have started at their own 31-yard line. So it's 2nd and 10. Southeast Polk from their own 46. They trail 17-14 to Dowling. Back to throw is Moberly. And he's hit as he threw it. Pass is caught by Sama. Breaks a tackle, spins out of a tackle, still on his feet, and finally tackled inside the Dowling 40-yard line. Great move. And he looked like he was just playing a little ping pong. banging off players, and they couldn't get him down. And that's how strong Abu Sama, the Iowa State recruit, went all the way down inside the Dowling 35.
He showed what great balance he has right there, because he got hit multiple times, and you got to wrap him up. And he was getting hit and kept his feet and kept his hips moving and kept his hips squared, and big play.
23-yard run for Sama. And it's a first down Rams. They give it right back to him, and he grinds it up right over center and plows his way inside the Dowling 30 to about the 28-yard line, gain of 3.
Ralston Rumley on the stop there from his nose guard position there, wrapped him up and threw him down. It looked like a takedown right there.
They got a couple wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen the young man for Southeast Polk that can get after. They got a couple of wrestlers out there. All right, it's 2nd and 6. Southeast Polk. Mobley back to throw. He swings it out. Sama with the catch. Spins out of another tackle and finally wrestled down out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line. A gain of about 7 yards.
The Maroons are bringing a blitzer late, and he's not quite getting home. And Mobley's able to throw it out into the flats where Sama is waiting for it and able to convert. And 3rd and short inside the 30-yard line.
They give him a gain down of 6 yards down to the Dowling 22. 55 seconds left to go in the half. Dowling has 1 timeout. Rams have 2 at their disposal as we approach halftime. 3rd and 1 for Southeast Polk. One back in the backfield. Mobley, inside handoff. That's Gibson, the backup tailback. He's got the first down inside the 20, and he dives down near the 18, maybe the 17.
Yeah, they pulled the right side of the line to the left, and Proctor was kicking out the end and left a hole there for Gibbons to run through.
Gibson, a 5-yard run. That's Harrison Gibson, the backup tailback. Gives the Rams a first down, and now here's Mobley back to throw, fakes the handoff, and throws backside. He's got a man open, touchdown in the end zone for Southeast Polk. He threw against the grain, and he threw it up, and he threw it over the Dowling defender.
Sam
Touchdown
Good.
Rams. How about that?
Yeah, Sam Good. Design play, and some teams will call it a throwback or whatever it is, but you get all the motion going one way, and you send that guy to the other corner of the end zone, and Mobley found him, and Sam Good went up and caught it. Nice catch.
So that's his first catch of the year for Sam Good. He's a two-way player for the Rams, and now the extra point for Southeast Polk. Trey Nave in to hold, and now the kick is up, and it is good. And now Southeast Polk has retaken the lead, 21-17 over Dowling, with 34 seconds remaining here in the first half. We'll take a break. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and CISN.TV.
Amazon Smile is a simple way to support Iowa Catholic Radio. When you are shopping on Amazon, consider shopping through Amazon Smile instead. You get all the same great deals, and your order will also help support Iowa Catholic Radio. All you need to do is choose Iowa Catholic Radio as your nonprofit to support when you first log in, and Amazon will do the rest. Every Amazon Smile order you make, Amazon will donate to Iowa Catholic Radio. Support Iowa Catholic Radio while you shop at smile.amazon.com. And thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Father China from the Diocese of Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Well, Southeast Polk retakes the lead. It's been back and forth, several ties. Rams have had to lead most of the game. Dowling retook it on the field goal, but the Rams come back with a 17-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Connor Mobley to Good, and that is Sam Good, who the tight end who made the catch, and now the kickoff by Southeast Polk, taken by one of the upbacks for Dowling at the 25, and he gets across the 30, and he's wrapped up there with 27 seconds left to go in the first half. And let's go down to John Chido. He's on the Dowling sideline. He's going to catch up with head coach Tom Wilson here in about 27 seconds as we go to half. But, Johnny, what a drive by Southeast Polk. They made some plays when they had to.
Yeah, they sure did. And Matt hit the nail on the head. You have to wrap up a back like Sama. You can't give him space. And Dowling has him stopped and with just trying to hit him and not wrap him up, and he's elusive enough to use spin moves and such things like that, and he's so quick and fast, and you have to wrap him up. Yeah,
and that'll probably be what you hear at halftime out of the Maroon locker room. And Dowling will keep the ball on the ground. They hand it off to and that's Rashad Davis carrying the ball up to the 35-yard line. I think Dowling's going to be content to go into halftime trailing by 4, 21-17, as they're not going to stop the clock. But we will catch up with our sideline reporter, John Chido, as we'll get a camera on him. And he'll catch up with Tom Wilson. But what a half we saw as the Rams lead it 21-17, Matt, as they we'll go down to John Chido here in a moment when he catches up with Coach Wilson. But what a first half we've seen.
Yeah, a fun half of high school football, and as exciting as you can get on the first week of the season.
Yeah, Johnny's down there about the 14-yard line is where he's standing. He'll catch up with Coach Wilson. Of course, Tom always visiting with the staff, trying to get a good perspective. But the Maroons trail at halftime 21-17. I know our CISN cameras will catch up with Johnny. And John, take it away with head coach Tom Wilson.
Well, Coach, the first game of the season, first half, it was kind of still there at the beginning with the low-scoring game, and it kind of exploded. Both offenses kind of exploded a little bit.
Yeah, there's a couple drives that we didn't finish, and we had opportunities, and we haven't tackled very well. And they've got a great back, but we've got to do a better job.
And you were able to convert two big plays there that led that fourth down play to Cooper, then the touchdown right back there. Big momentum plays and converting in the red zone also.
Yep, we got to stop them, and then we got our chances. We got to make them count.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, that's John Chido speaking with head coach Tom Wilson. Halftime here at Valley Stadium on the opening night of high school football. Southeast Polk ranked second in the preseason, taking on third-ranked Dowling. And the Maroons trailing at halftime 21-17. And, there's, the third base coach is back, Mr. Jared Seifert, one of your famous math teachers, Matt.
He is famous, and he does an outstanding job for us.
Well, we're glad to have him, and we appreciate the staff.
Jack of all trades, no doubt.
He may stick around because, Jared, we're going to interview Coach Maindring at halftime, talk about the staff at Dowling. I got a few questions about the math department. I want to make sure my daughter's in the right class. All right. Total offense in the first half. Southeast Polk with 233 yards, Dowling with 229, so pretty even there, as the Maroons had 2 penalties for 20 yards. Southeast Polk penalized twice for 17 yards. Southeast Polk with 11 first downs, Dowling with 12. Jackson Smolik was 19 out of 26 passing, 197 yards and 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Connor Mobley for Southeast Polk was 5 out of 7 passing with 89 yards and a touchdown. Leading rusher for Dowling, C.J. Phillip, 4 carries, 24 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Davis, a sophomore, 3 carries, 9 yards. For Southeast Polk, Abu Sama, 7 carries, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He scored in the first play of the game from 72 yards out. And Harrison Gibson.
We're getting distracted up here.
I know, we're security. Harrison Gibson, the backup tailback, 6 carries for 55 yards for the Rams. Leading receiver for Dowling, Bo Gamble, 4 catches, 69 yards. Cooper Nicholson, 3 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Thompson, 3 catches for 42 yards. Rashad Davis, 2 catches for 23 yards. Will Leifker, 3 catches for 10 yards. Hank Brown, 2 catches for 7 yards. And C.J. Phillip, 2 catches for 4 yards. So that is 7 different receivers catching the ball for Dowling. For the Rams of Southeast Polk, Connor Robbins, 2 catches for 31 yards. Abu Sama, 2 catches for 28 yards. And the Sam Good, 1 catch for 17 yards and the touchdown. Joe Zelenovich had 1 catch for 8 yards. Owen Wignall, 1 catch for 5 yards. And Jack Falloon, 1 catch for no yards. So that's a look at the numbers for both teams. Again, Dowling with 229 yards of total offense. Southeast Polk with 233. The Maroons had 197 yards in the air. Southeast Polk with 89. And the Rams had 144 yards on the ground. Dowling with 32. and both teams with 2 penalties. So we want to thank Mr. Seifert for that.
You bet. And, it's a back-and-forth half, and as Coach Wilson said, there's a little bit left on the field, but I think overall everything got stopped up pretty well, and that offensive line from Southeast Polk really started to take control of the game, and you give Abu Sama any space, and he's going to take advantage.
Let's take a look at some of the games going on before we go to break. Number 1, Ankeny is at Waukee tonight. These are all 7 o'clock kickoffs. Number 6, Valley at Waukee Northwest. That was a 7 o'clock kickoff. That game is televised also as part of the CISN group. Johnson is at number 7, Cedar Falls. That was a 7:15 kickoff in the Unidome in Cedar Falls. Bettendorf is at 8th-ranked Urbandale. Other games in the central Iowa area, 8th-ranked Nittinola out of Class 4A is at Ankeny Centennial tonight up at Ankeny Stadium. That game is also televised on CISN. Marshalltown at Ames. Roosevelt is at East. Des Moines North at Hoover. And Sioux City West at Lincoln. Some of the ranked teams involved tonight, Iowa City Liberty taking on City High of Iowa City. That was a 7:15 kickoff in God's country. Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. Iowa City West at 9th-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy. That was last night. And 10th-ranked Cedar Rapids Prairie at Pleasant Valley, who is ranked 4th. So that's a look at some of the scores. We'll try to get some of those corralled. I know we're working on some of that. In the meantime, stay tuned at halftime. We'll be back on CISN.TV and Iowa Catholic Radio with the video. I'll have a conversation with Matt Maindring, my co-partner tonight, and the principal at Dowling Catholic. We'll talk about what's going on at the school in the opening week. Here at halftime at Valley Stadium. Again, our halftime score, Southeast Polk 21, Dowling Catholic 17 on Iowa Catholic Radio. We'll take a 2-minute break.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Fridays at 9 a.m., Making It Personal on Iowa Catholic Radio, iowacatholicradio.com, and on demand on the Iowa Catholic Radio app. Connecting listeners with Christ.
This is a Young Catholic Minute.
Why do I have to go to confession?
Whoa, when are you going to take all that garbage out?
I don't have to.
But
I don't want to go tell the garbage man about this. He's not a fiery furnace to burn away all my garbage. He's just a man.
if we let the garbage of sin build up in our souls, life gets pretty disgusting. So it's good that Christ told his apostles, whose sins you forgive are forgiven them, whose sins you retain are retained. That way, Christ's forgiveness of sins won for us on Calvary comes to us even today through the successors of the apostles, Catholic priests. So when we go to confession, we gain the gift of humility by having to speak our sins aloud. Then we receive counsel, and finally, through the mercy of God, we hear the priest say the words that Christ has given him to speak in his name. I absolve you from your sins. Go in peace. And that is pretty cool. For more, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Amadale. John Chido on the field as Southeast Polk leads Dowling 21-17 here at the halftime break on week one of the high school football season. Of course, my partner in crime here, Matt Maindring, is also the principal at Dowling Catholic High School. And Matt, this week you welcomed not only some new students, but you retained some older ones. The freshmen and sophomores and juniors all moved up a class, but the new incoming freshman class, my daughter part of that, and also some of the new staff and the existing staff. So it's been quite a week.
It has been quite a week. The teachers start prepping for this a week ago, and we brought them in and we spent a week getting ready and going through a lot of academic things, our focuses for the year, and trying to get reestablished after the tumultuous couple of years that we've been through. Just finding our normal pace and how we're going to do things in the classroom. And, it's been an outstanding week. The teachers have been spot on right from the start, and the kids have been just outstanding as we've been going through the first few days. And it's been a lot of fun to see everybody back in the building and the energy that they bring with it.
Well, it's certainly true. It's true in all the buildings, but it's got to be a different year. The pandemic's still around. I know you're still dealing with that. It's still out there. As the temperature goes down, it gets a little colder, the flu and other stuff happens. So, it's not something we're going to get away from, but kids are back face-to-face with their teachers.
They are, and it's so important. And, we focus so much of our energy on building those relationships, especially early in the year. And so we've done some activities with that, and so the kids get to know each other and their teachers. And a lot of the teachers in their classroom will spend a part of their instruction will be early on getting to know the kids, and because we know academically, in order for a school to be successful and the classroom to be successful, a kid's got to be able to feel safe and trust the person in the room with them, and then that academic stuff grows. And we've got an outstanding staff. We've added 3 new staff, or about 7 new staff this year. In a variety of positions, a couple in the math field. We've got a retired teacher from Ankeny that's come into our math department, an actuary that is new to the teaching profession that has come into our math department, has done an outstanding job, and we've added some veterans also in our play performance area at English. And an English department added Jenny Umstead, who's a Dowling grad, is now in there and doing the yearbook, and so just a lot of veterans. And we were pretty fortunate in doing that. And we've added 2 new priests.
Yes, and what a blessing to have that opportunity. That means that we've had more people become priests, more men become priests, and 2 of those priests just happen to be Dowling grads.
They are, and Father James Downey is in the classroom full time as a theology instructor, and then Father Reed Flood is the full-time chaplain. And so to add those 2 young men who both, by the way, played football,
yes, they did,
and involved in a number of activities, and they epitomize what it is to be a Maroon as far as in high school, because they were involved in so many activities and not just focused in one area, and obviously develop their faith life as well.
Well, on Sunday when they had the freshman mass, when I was there, everybody, all the administrators, Dr. Ryan, yourself, and the rest of the administrators, talked about what to expect, and that your kids will be challenged. I remember you saying that following. Your kids are going to be challenged as a teacher to the students. Well, what are some of the goals for the staff? Because you talked a little bit about that, the points of emphasis for the Dowling faculty this year from your administrative position,
right.
Matt.
One of the things that we're focused on a little bit is ACT scores and getting those to a point where every kid can reach a level higher than what they were established at before. And some of that occurs naturally, but it's also somehow, you have to learn how to take the test, and you learn how to decipher the questions that are asked in that format. And so we're doing a little bit of work with that, but it's really checking for understanding of the kids as they progress in the class. And, one of the bigger things that's changed in education over the last several years is this collaborative nature. High school really used to be about, the teacher went into their room and that was their room. And now I might have been guilty of that when I first started teaching myself, and you didn't really collaborate with other teachers very much. And now we realize that we become better if we work with the people around us teaching the same things, and our staff has really elevated their game and really focused on seeing if every kid in the room, if we know what they actually have learned and know as the day goes on, then we can pick up which things we have to reteach and which things the students need more help with.
Visit with Matt Mainry, the principal at Dowling Catholic High School, and I'm going to guess year 8 for you here at Dowling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
So we've had you, 5-6 years on the radio, so we appreciate that, giving up your Friday nights. But question for you, you look at, it's about the academic part, you talked about that, but we also have activities. And you encourage, I know my daughter's been told this, hey, seek out an activity, not maybe necessarily a sporting activity, but something else, band, chorus. There's a lot of things to get involved with. But when you're doing that, you represent Dowling when you go out to your meets or competitions, whatever. And the word sportsmanship, that comes into all areas because, number one, we represent the school no matter where we're at, whether we're at an event or not. But sportsmanship's a big emphasis, and it should be at the high school level especially.
It needs to be. We tell anytime you have that crest on, you're representing Dowling Catholic, no matter what you're doing, and it's so important for our kids, and it's an emphasis by the CML this year, trying to create that positive sportsmanship. The state association has had a tough time retaining officials, as you well know, as an umpire and everything else, and we've become so accustomed to attacking the people that are on the field and the court instead of turning it around and saying, well, God, let's celebrate when someone does something well and not when someone messed up to allow someone to do well. Maybe, and so it's really changing the perspective and encouraging our athletes and our fans to look for those spots and cheer on the good things.
Well, we hope that continues in all sporting events, no matter if you're a part of the Dowling community or all communities. Can't emphasize that enough. What we see that happens at the college and the professional level is totally different than what should happen at the high school level. And I think people lose track of that because Sunday's professional day, they're watching NFL, NBA, and that's a whole different line of things.
It is. It's a whole different line of things. And high school sports is such a fun atmosphere, especially when you're seeing kids and cheering kids on to do their thing. And, we just saw the band get done. And sports like, activities like band, cross country is a great example. Do you hear anyone boo at a cross country meet?
Never heard one.
Never heard one.
Never.
And the teams there and the other kids watching the events are always cheering on the kids, even the kid finishing last.
Correct.
And it's those types of things that you want to see perpetuated into these big events, such as football, basketball, and wrestling, and whatever else. And collectively, if we focus on that as a unit, we can do that and teach our kids the right way to watch an event.
Good point. Matt Mandering joined me at halftime. This is Mark Amadale. Halftime score, Southeast Polk leads Dowling 21-17. Matt, final question, and that has to do with the pep rally today that Dowling had to kick off the fall sports season. I know they had the rally last night, but talk about the pep rally last night.
Well, yeah, with the pep rally last night, it's always fun to see how many kids are involved in our fall activities. We have, well over, close to 1,400 kids in the building, but how many of them are involved in something, even on Friday night here? If you take the band, the dance team, the cheerleaders, the football team, and then you throw in volleyball, cross country, swim, and all of those kids participating in golf, it's amazing how active our kids are. And then pretty soon, the fall play will start, and all of those things, and that's what high school should be about.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, I appreciate you taking time to visit with us at halftime to kick off the 2022 school year. We hope it's going to be a fabulous one. I look forward to it myself, having a freshman at Dowling, and appreciate everybody on the staff helping all those kids, whether they're freshmen all the way to seniors, in their journey through high school.
They are, and and this weekend we have our senior mass, so we encourage all the parents to attend with their seniors on Sunday morning. And it's a great time to celebrate those kids as they enter the last year of their journey through Dowling. And then we celebrate we have a Mass of the Holy Spirit on Tuesday. So that's always a fun event, our first all-school Mass.
Certainly is. And before we take a break, I want to mention what's going on this weekend. Tomorrow, Dowling girls swim team is in action at home. They take on Council Bluffs Lewis Central, 9 o'clock at the Mark Crouch Pool at Dowling. And then tomorrow morning, also, the girls volleyball team, Dowling will be at the 16-team Ankeny Centennial Invitational. A lot of top 10 teams in that meet. That begins at 9 o'clock at Ankeny Centennial High School. And finally, also tomorrow morning, the Dowling girls cross-country team, they'll be running over at Johnson in their invitational. That was supposed to be a night event. It's been moved up to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Johnson due to the potential weather coming in on Saturday night. So some of the activities at Dowling, activities and sports will be involved with. We'll take a break, come back with the start of the second half. It's Southeast Polk leading at halftime 21-17 over Dowling Catholic. My halftime guest has been Matt Madring. This is Mark Amadale, back after this 1-minute break on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Honey, I'm so excited for our kitchen remodel.
All right, you love birds. Floors?
Natural hardwood.
Okay. Wow, that was quick. Countertops?
Definitely natural granite.
Check.
Woohoo!
And that wall?
Tear it down. It let in more natural sunlight.
Done. Whoa. Speaking of tearing down walls, your family planning, natural, right?
Natural family planning is 99% effective at achieving or delaying pregnancy, and there are no harmful chemicals, so it's better for you and the environment. Tear down the wall.
A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
This is Father Christopher Pichut of the Diocese of Des Moines. Thank you for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines a few minutes before kickoff here in the second half, as Dowling will kick off and Southeast Polk will receive. And we're going to continue our halftime a little bit extended as Southeast Polk leads Dowling by the score of 21-17. And our guest in the booth tonight, we've heard a little bit from him, but that has been Dave Shetler. He's from Holy Trinity Parish. He won the fall auction that they had, a spring auction that they had. He's brought your son Tyler, your son-in-law Kyle, and your granddaughter is at Holy Trinity. And Dave, what do you think about this first half?
It's a pretty exciting game. I'm really excited. It's a back-and-forth game. I think it could go either way. I think hopefully we can come out as a winner.
Well, you talking about Dowling or Southeast Polk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got your Dowling shirt on. So talk about anybody want to give a shout-out? Because,
sure.
I never know who's going to stay the whole game and who's going to leave early. So talk about give a shout-out to some people who might be listening that you know.
I give a shout-out to my wife, Jennifer, and also I want to give a shout-out to Tyler's wife, Michelle, in Little Memphis is at home. I think he's in bed already, but maybe some year he'll be a Dowling player. Who knows?
Well, there you go.
So, just a shout-out to everyone watching the game. I think it's a great game. I think Dowling's going to have a great year.
So you got to know my brother when he was a Holy Trinity, a pastor there, and now you know me.
Yeah.
Who do you like best? I got to put you on the spot.
I got to put it aside. I think it's definitely you.
There you go.
Hopefully he's not listening.
Well, they don't get it up there in Ankeny. They don't get radio in Ankeny.
That might have been the first time that's happened. That Mark went out over his brother.
Dave, you stay here as long as you want tonight.
Definitely. All right.
Dave Shetler giving the shout-out. And I don't know if Chido heard that. I hope he needs to pass that along to the ground crew. Hey, Johnny on the sideline, did you hear what Mr. Shetler said?
I got one more person I got to give a shout-out.
Go ahead.
My daughter, Marissa, she went to Dowling 14 through 18 there. She went to Dowling as well.
And who's your granddaughter? That's at Holy Trinity in kindergarten.
Madeline.
Madeline, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Chido.
She'll be class of 2035 at Dowling.
There we go.
He's got it figured out. Johnny Chido, you on the sideline? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear it because I was breaking down the strategy for the second half with a bunch of guys down here. What was said?
Well, I asked him to pick between David's a parishioner at Holy Trinity. My brother was a pastor there when Mr. Mandering came to town. And I asked him, I said, who do you like best? And he said, me. That's never happened. Mark it down.
You need to mark that down. That's a big day in history right there.
It is. Well, you've been breaking down stuff. Talk about what you found out on the sideline at halftime from the Dowling standpoint as the Maroons trail 21-17 and kick off here, Johnny.
Well, it's an interesting point. We're trying to predict the final score here and talking about Southeast Polk, if they're going to stick to the running game or kind of go back to the passing game. Because I think if they stick to the running game, then they can wear Dowling down a little bit, kind of how you saw there late at the second half there. And it's going to come down to converting third and fourth down conversions. Now, I'm the opposite. I think Dowling's going to come back and score some points because I think offensively we've been doing a really good job. It's just defensively, I think they're going to clean some things up and be able to contain those running backs a little bit and get off the field in third and long situations.
All right, as we're underway, the kickoff by Dowling and fielded by Southeast Polk. It's a short kick, but Rams move the pile up to the 40-yard line. Nice job on the return. It's kind of it's Sama on the return for Southeast Polk, and it's kind of a area where they kick to, and then they try to do their best because obviously the Maroons don't have a kicker that can put it in the end zone. And Matt, that time they get it all the way to the 40-yard line on the return.
And that was like a rugby scrum there that moved the pile the last 10 yards there, and that does not make the special teams people very happy when that happens.
No, it does not. All right, second half, the Rams with the ball on their own 40-yard line, and the give is to Sama, and he stood up and now spins his way out of it, but then is tackled at the line of scrimmage for no gain in the Dowling Maroon defense, and there's a lot of them. And again, that was the first half against the number 2 team with a different look defense, basically a 5-3 defense with 3 people with the hands down, not 4 like the Maroon defense normally looks like.
And that breakdown on the first play just really cost them, and now they're getting some good pressure. Those front 3 are hitting the gaps, and on that play right there, they got some penetration, and that allows those linebackers to run to the football.
All right, Southeast Polk with a 2nd down and 9. Moberly at quarterback, fires the ball out. It's caught on the left side, and maybe about an 8-yard gain as the receiver tries to get to near midfield, and he's stopped just shy of that. And not a bad play, and I think that was Carson Robbins on the reception, and it was.
I believe it was, Carson Robbins on the reception. It creates a 3rd and 2. Big play here for the defense early in the ball game to see if they can get a stop and turn Southeast Polk over.
8-yard gain, as Matt mentioned. 21-17. Southeast Polk leads Dowling. Both teams, we had a couple ties, and the Maroons had 1 lead. Southeast Polk obviously has a lead now. Now you got a little quick hitter, and it's caught. They fake the Sama, and they throw a quick hitter over the left side. First down, Southeast Polk inside the 40-yard line. And that was a nice reception that time, and I believe, once again, that's Carson Robbins.
Yeah, they do that. That's a play fake there, and it's hard not to run up on Sama. Those linebackers get up, and then you're able to make that play in front of the secondary.
10-yard gain down to the Dowling 38-yard line. So Robbins with a 10-yard catch and an 8-yard catch gives the Rams a first down. We're at the 10-minute mark here to the third quarter. And now here is a little sweep action as they give it to Abu Sama. Tries to get outside, and he runs into the boundary, and he may have scampered up for a yard to the 37-yard line. Gain of 1 will be 2nd and 9.
A good job by Jake Anderson to stretch that play out and make Sama run out of bounds and eventually drag him down. But he strung that play out and didn't allow him to cut back or give any angle for him with his quick feet.
A gain of 1 will be 2nd down, 9, Southeast Polk. They'll line up 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Empty backfield for the quarterback, Connor Moberly. Moberly back to throw, throws left, and he underthrows the receiver, incomplete. He threw left where there was just 2 receivers, and he underthrew the intended receiver, Carson Robbins.
Yeah, that's really only the first poor throw we've seen out of him. Moberly's had a really strong night for his first game at quarterback for Southeast Polk, and has made some heady plays and has really run that offense really well.
All right, it's 3rd and 9 for the Rams. They go left to right, south to north here at Valley Stadium. Here's a snap out of the shotgun. Moberly back to throw, fires it over the middle. The pass is caught, but shy of the first down, right about the 32-yard line for a gain of 6.
We got a flag in the middle of the field, and I don't know if they're going to call a hold in the secondary. This will be interesting, but a nice play to prevent any yards after catch.
And a penalty against Southeast Polk that time. They whistle it. Pass interference on the Rams, so offensive pass interference. You don't see that called very often.
No, you don't see it. They must have ran into a defender, and the officials got to think that it was intentional, that he rubbed him off, and creates that pass interference play. Is that a loss of down, Mark? That's not a loss. That's not a loss of down.
It isn't. It'll be 3rd down back at the 47-yard line of Dowling. So that's where the Rams will have it. That's 15-yard penalty. And that'll bring up 3rd and 19. Just under 10 minutes left, third quarter. Now the officials getting together. Maybe it's on placement. These guys have done a great job. The referee is Craig Van Vark out of Pella. The umpire, Kyle Ward, out of Ottumwa. TJ Augustine out of Clive is our head linesman. Todd Rohr, the line judge. And Dan Zegers out of Pella is the back judge. Now I think they got everything straight.
It's first night for these guys, too.
It is.
So they've done a really good job of keeping this game under control and keeping it moving.
All right, here is Moberly back to throw. Looks left, throws left. And the pass is incomplete, out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Try to do a quick hitter over there. And the receiver ran out of room, and will bring up 4th and 19.
The thing that penalty does is that, if it had been 4th and even 8 or so in that range, I think Southeast Polk might have gone for it. But now with the ball back at midfield, it puts them in a punt situation. And if you remember, the last 2 times they've punted, they've had an issue getting the ball back to the punter.
That's true. Josh Wilson stands back at his own 39-yard line for Southeast Polk. The long snapper is Braden Lundgren. He's also one of the wide receivers. Good snap, and Wilson gets it away. And it takes a bounce inside the 15. And now Dowling picks it up, and they run it back to the 16-yard line. So a 1-yard return. Why would you pick the ball up in that crowd?
Well,
but they did.
I think he was unsure, and that was Trey Wilson. So I think he was unsure who it hit because it hit a player, and he thought, well, I'll just go pick that up and make sure that it didn't hit one of our players.
So with 9:27 left to go in the third quarter, Dowling with the first down at their own 16-yard line, down to the Dowling sideline, and John Chido, and Johnny, you called it. The Maroon defense stepped up, and that time the Rams started at their own 40, and they got all the way down to the Dowling 47. So they picked up 13 yards and had the ball for about 9 plays.
Yeah, you had to get them in third and long situations, and that was Dowling was able to do, and we're able to stand tall and get them off the field.
And on first down, thank you, Johnny, is Smolik back to throw, and he overthrew his intended receiver, and that was Jalen Thompson, the tight end, who sometimes splits out as a receiver, and that was just over his head, incomplete. Jalen's a tall kid, 6'4", senior, and verbally committed to Northern Illinois to play football.
Yeah, I think Jalen's going to be a little frustrated with himself that he didn't come down with that one. The ball was a little bit behind. It was kind of an awkward thing to catch, but 9 times out of 10, he's going to catch that football.
2nd and 10, Dowling from their own 16-yard line. Southeast Polk leads 21-17 here in the third quarter. Maroons going right to left, south to north, back to throw. Smolik flush in the pocket, rolls to his left. Now looking, trying to improvise, and he threw it at the last moment, incomplete to Hank Brown right around the 26-yard line, and that'll stop the clock with 9:14 left and bring up 3rd and long for Dowling from their own 16.
Smolik did a really good job of extending that play as long as he could, and when he rolls out that far, the field shrinks, and you really only have from hash to the sideline to throw the football, and didn't have many options there. But the offensive line has done a really good job of protecting him, and we'll see if Southeast Polk brings a little heat here as they go empty.
Maroons with 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield, as Matt mentioned. No tight end. Smolik on a long count. Jackson with the snap. Steps up, fires it out real quick, and the pass is caught. And down is, I believe, Jalen Thompson. He's helped right back up. But he will be shy of the first down as he crossed about the 23-yard line and gained about 7.
Yeah, so both defenses, after kind of a wild second quarter, come and get a stop here to start the second half.
Spot him down at the 22. 6-yard gain by Thompson. 4th and 4, Dowling from their own 22, and Cooper Nicholson into punt. So we've seen both punters here in the first possession of the offense for each team here in the second half. Nicholson standing back inside his 10-yard line. Hagan with the snap. Good snap, and Cooper gets it away. And it's not the best punt. Off the side of his foot, takes a Dowling bounce, rolls across the 45, and that's where it'll be down. So that's one of the, probably not the best punt of the night by Cooper Nicholson, but he's done a pretty steady job until then. And now Southeast Polk in great field position, leading 21-17. They'll take over inside the 50-yard line. And let's go down to the Dowling sideline. John Chido is down there, and John, the Dowling offense now struggling. Both teams' defense is kind of knuckling under. You can see the halftime adjustments coming out here in the second half.
Yeah, and, Jackson didn't have much time to get his first option there, the last couple plays there. And when Southeast Polk does a good job of having Jackson break the pocket, that's not his strength. He wants to sit there and get his reads and his progressions, and Southeast Polk's done a nice job getting after him. And, that's where it comes down to. If you're not completing those passes without being able to run the football, it's going to come back and hurt you a little bit.
Here's play action by Moberly. Fires the ball out. The pass is caught. Joe Zelenovic with the catch. Breaks the tackle and finally smashed out of bounds inside the 45 of Dowling. Nice pass that time by quarterback Connor Moberly from the Dowling 47-yard line. He moves it down to spotted at the 35 there, Matt, a gain of 12.
Yeah, they rolled him out well, and Mobley did a really good job of throwing the run there, found Selenovic down the sideline for an easy gain, easy first down.
1st and 10 Rams, as they'll send out 2 receivers to the left. Southeast Polk going left to right in their visiting white uniforms, black pants and helmets, Dowling in their maroon jerseys with white pants and maroon helmets. Inside handoff and moving the pile down to the 35-yard line. Gibson back in there or Sama, because Sama's been a two-way player, and we've seen the backup, Harrison Gibson, getting some ball carries, and that he did that time.
And off the bottom of that pile comes Hagen and Rumley and Heikus as they stopped it up the middle there, and a no gain on that run play. And you got to be able to stop that to keep that Southeast Polk offense honest.
Yeah, Rumley, Hagen have done a great job tonight along with Heikus. And now back to pass. Pass is caught, and that's Carson Robbins, another catch. He's inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 11 and a first down for Southeast Polk.
That's a breakdown defensively, as there was nobody within 5 yards of Robbins. And I believe Robbins is down on the field here, right?
Well,
I can't tell. Sometimes in the second half of these games you get cramps. Coming out of halftime, let's hope that's what it is.
Right, with stoppage in the play right now, 7:25 left to go, third quarter. 21-17 is our score. We want to thank Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio's coverage of Dowling Catholic football in our 46th year here in Iowa Catholic Radio. I want to welcome the folks from CISN. And you were right, Carson Robbins made the catch, and he went down. It looked like it was just one of those cramps, and we like to see that more than anything else.
Yeah.
We can tolerate a cramp. He'll go get hydrated, and it'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Rams. Both teams still on the sidelines. They're going to let them huddle. Let's go down to John Shido for a quick moment. Hope we didn't interrupt your conversation, Johnny.
Oh, no, I'm actually paying attention a little bit more because I'm getting sidetracked too much. That's the first game jitters.
How's the chain gang doing on the south, on the other end? Have you heard anything over there?
They're a man down tonight.
I know.
Yeah, they've been working extra hard, and I heard one of them took a shot on the sideline there, and I think it was Morris.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but he's doing okay.
All right. Well, see, there you go. You don't get that anywhere else, Matt.
No, I know.
Sideline.
You don't talk about the sideline guys.
And there's an incomplete pass as Moberly a little under duress and tried to get the pass off. And I'll tell you what, both teams' defenses have given the quarterbacks fits at times. They're not getting comfortable back there. Moberly has made some athletic plays for his first ever start and done a great job being athletic. And that's hats off to the defensive lines for both teams. They have made them work.
They have made them work, and they really have. This Dowling defense has got to buckle down right here, and Southeast Polk is keeping the pressure on.
Rams now with the 2nd and 10. Sama at tailback, and now Moberly will go out of the shotgun. Connor Moberly, the junior quarterback, didn't play at all last year and didn't even take a varsity snap. Handoff to Sama. Slips a tackle, still on his feet inside the 20, inside the 10, 5, touchdown. How did he get out of that? The Maroons had him corralled right in the backfield. Touchdown Southeast Polk from 24 yards. And Abu Sama with his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, he is a special athlete back there because it looked like it was a no gain, and he just kept his feet under him and slowly bounced that thing out to the edge and then hit the sideline. He's gone, and such a talented young man.
6:56 left to play, third quarter, and Southeast Polk extends its lead to 10, 27-17 on the 24-yard run by Sama, and the extra point is up, and it is good. And the Rams now lead at 28-17 here in the third quarter with 6:56 remaining. We'll take a break and come back here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and CISN.
Matt Wilcom here from Iowa Catholic Radio. I'd like to thank you for your continued support of this apostolate. Because of you, we're reaching more souls in more ways than ever before. Whether you've had your faith strengthened by either our talk or music channels, or if you've been impacted by one of our other outreach initiatives, you experience firsthand the value Iowa Catholic Radio brings to the Catholic and Christian community. If you haven't made the decision yet to become a family member, please consider a $30 a month sustaining gift. Just visit iowacatholicradio.com, and welcome to the family.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Mondays at 9 a.m., Man Up with Joe Stopulos on Iowa Catholic Radio, iowacatholicradio.com, and on demand on the Iowa Catholic Radio app. Connecting listeners with Christ.
We're back here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Mark Hamadale alongside Matt Mainring. Week 1 of the high school football season. Southeast Polk leading Dowling 28-17 on Abu Sama's third touchdown of the night, this time from 24 yards. The extra point was good by Josh Wilson. He's 3 for 3 tonight. And now here is the kickoff. And for the first time tonight, there'll be a return by Dowling Catholic. And a nice return by Jake Anderson back there on the return. Gets it across the 20 and gives some breathing room as Dowling trailing 28-17 as Southeast Polk has went 5 plays and 47 yards capped off by Abu Sama's 24-yard run. That is his third touchdown of the night. Let's go down to John Chido on the Dowling sideline.
Well, you know, when you have a scrum there that happens on that last play, the touchdown play, you have to stay disciplined in the outside guys, your corner and your linebacker, because what happens in the scrum, he's going to break it outside, and that's what happened. There was nobody there.
All right, here's the handoff, and the Maroons keep the ball on the ground, and penalty flag down on the back end as the ball carrier goes from his own 23-yard line, cuts up field, and is hit and dropped. And now there's a flag on the play, so we'll catch up with there. We're trying to take a look and see who the ball carrier was. Dowling's been primarily using the two ball carriers of C.J. Phillip and Rashad Davis.
And that was Rashad Davis, and the flag came in there late.
It
so
did.
It's, you know, you'd think holding, but then it came in late, so it's hard to tell. It was at the end of the run.
Official still holding up. Matt, you've got a few scores while we get.
Well, you could call a blindside block against Dowling.
That'll push the Maroons back, and that'll push them further back. You got a couple looks at some scores there, Matt, that you come across?
We got Waukee up on number 1 Ankeny 7-0 at half, and Valley up on Waukee Northwest 20-7. I think that's in the third quarter. Cedar Falls is up on Johnston in the third quarter 7-0, and Urbandale is leading Bettendorf 17-7. I believe that game is also in the third quarter.
Okay, appreciate those updates, Matt. We'll get them to our listeners and viewers as we can. 6:37 left to go here in the third quarter from Valley Stadium. Southeast Polk 28, Dowling 17. Smolik at quarterback, out of the shotgun, steps up, now wants to run. He hasn't run a whole lot across the 20 and it slides at the, they're going to put him down at the, just shy of the 20-yard line. He'll pick up 8 yards, get some of those yardage back from the penalty.
Good decision there to step up, nothing there and a lot of open field, and he turns a loss into a gain and a positive play for the offense as they dig out of this hole.
7-yard run for Jackson Smolik. Puts the ball on the 19-yard line of Dowling. Second and 14. Maroons with 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And they'll send a man in motion right to left. He'll act as the 4th receiver. And now Smolik back to throw, fires it out, and he overthrew his intended receiver, incomplete to Cooper Nicholson, and fell between him and Bo Gamble.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get to Bo Gamble and got hit from behind just as he released the ball as he stepped up into the pocket. And, again, he's been getting pretty decent time back there to pick who he wants to go to, but the secondary from Southeast Polk has been playing very, very well.
All right, Jalen Thompson and Cooper Nicholson split out wide to the left for the Maroons. Back in the backfield for Dowling Catholic, Rashad Davis. Smolik the quarterback. 3rd and 14 for Dowling. Smolik back to throw, little swing pass. Caught by Rashad Davis down the far sideline and knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Gain of 6, but it'll bring up 4th and long.
The Dowling offense has had to work out of their own territory here. It hasn't had many, we got a first down yet in those 2 series, but hasn't been able to move the ball with any consistency yet in the second half.
Pick up a 6. That'll bring in the punting unit. Cooper Nicholson hoping to attest for the last punt. That was one of his rare misfires that we've seen thus far this season. He'll stand back inside his 15-yard line. Hagan, the long snapper. 5:36 left to go, third quarter, 28-17, and now Dowling punting to Southeast Polk. It's a short kick. Gets across midfield. Now takes a Dowling bounce inside the 40, inside the 30, and I'll tell you what, Cooper did. It'll be down right around the 23-yard line as both twin safeties for Southeast Polk, Abu Sama and Carson Robbins, let that thing roll, and the Rams will have it back at their own 22.
Flag down on the play. It looked like after the punt. So we'll see what the officials say here.
5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Right now it's a first down Polk at their own 22-yard line. We'll try to pick up.
Sideline warning, I believe is what they said.
Yep, so it'll be 1st and 10. Southeast Polk from their own 22-yard line. The Rams lead it by 11, and we'll go down to Dowling's sideline reporter. That's John Chido. He just started practice this week for the Dowling 8th grade team that's led by him. And Johnny, take it away.
Well, you know, the thing that you talk about when you're calling offensive plays and stuff like that, and you're on offense, is you want tempo and you want a rhythm, and Dowling has not been able to find that rhythm yet in this second half. And when you start behind the chains, Jackson Smolik had a nice run to get some of those yardage back, but you get pushed back in, you got 3rd and 14. You don't have much in your arsenal for 3rd and 14. You know, so that's not part of your tempo and rhythm, and Dowling needs to find that offensively.
Well, let's see if the Maroon defense can come up with a stop. Thank you for that report, John. Now the ball is loose, and Moberly falls right on top of it. I think that's the 3rd or 4th mishandled. Dowling's converted two of those fumbles into turnovers, but that's the 4th time tonight. And not many things going wrong for Coach Zelenovich and his offense, but that's part of being a new quarterback and a new center for the Rams this year, coming off their state championship run last year.
You return from that state championship run, and you have a high bar, and they've been able to meet that for the most part tonight.
All right, here is Moberly back to throw. He fires it on the left side. It's caught and shy of the first down. The catch up to the 25-yard line. They're going to mark him up maybe to the 26 on the reception. And
Jack Falloon for Southeast Polk over the middle. They found a spot in the middle of the field there where Dowling has left the field open, and they've had some pockets in there, and Mobley's been able to find his receivers right over the middle.
Yeah, that's another Falloon coming through. His brother graduated last year and went to UNI. Now it's 3rd and 6 from the 26. Back to throw, and the pass is caught once again, and in the secondary for Southeast Polk, that is their receiver who's come up big tonight. And that's Carson Robbins with the first down across the 40 up near the 46-yard line of Southeast Polk.
And again, that pocket right over the middle of the field as the Maroon defense is having a tough time determining who's supposed to be up in there. And again, this is going to be an evolving thing for this defense as they become accustomed to these adjustments.
So an 11-yard catch by Falloon, and now a 16-yard reception by Robbins gives the Rams a first down at their own 42-yard line. 3:40 left, third quarter. Southeast Polk by 11. Now the handoff, this time it goes to the backup tailback, and he turns the corner, and that's Harrison Gibson, and he crosses midfield, and he's brought down. And I think he picked up the first down inside the 45 of Dowling.
That offensive line right there is creating some gaps, and it's hard, to get that stopped up when you have someone the talent of Caden Proctor over there making holes for that Ram offense.
So Southeast Polk with the first down. They're going to spot it at the 44 of Dowling. 14-yard run by Harrison Gibson, who's done some nice job of interchanging with the starting tailback, Abu Sama, who's a two-way player. Now here's a snap. Moberly hands off to Gibson. This time he's hit and met in the backfield for no gain, maybe a half-yard loss. We'll bring up 3rd down, and we're going to call it 2 here, back at the 45-yard line of Dowling.
The Dowling defense needed that play right there to get that stopped up, and that front three created a pile right there at the line of scrimmage and creates this 3rd and short situation.
So the Rams now get their personnel in as they bring in Cooper Boutel. an extra wide receiver. Quarterback is Carson Robbins. The junior has went the whole game in his first varsity start. 3rd and 1 Rams. Play action. They throw it over, and it's caught, and that's Sam Good, the tight end. He picks up the first down. He's inside the 40 down to the Dowling 37-yard line on a gain of 8.
That play action is so effective when they can do that and get those linebackers to step up, and Sam Good slips out there into the flats, and Mobley's been able to hit him on those 3rd down plays.
1st and 10, Southeast Polk as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Rams lead it 28-17. Rams got it started with first play from scrimmage on their first offensive series. Abu Sama on a 72-yard run put Dowling in the hole 7-0 early in the first quarter. 1st and 10. And over the middle, Mobley, and he finds his receiver again. First down inside the 20, still on his feet as they had him wrapped up at the 20, and he got back up and brought down at the 2-yard line. Great second effort that time displayed that by Southeast Polk's Abu Sama.
Yeah, that was a nice run. Again, wide open over the middle and able to, get that crease and then broke 2 tackles. And the tackling has been a little bit suspect here, as Coach Wilson talked about at halftime.
35-yard gain for Southeast Polk, and that puts the Rams goal to go at the 2-yard line of Dowling as we're under 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Moberly on play action, and he'll give it to his tailback. Touchdown, Southeast Polk. They dive in the end zone right over center, and the Rams have opened up their largest lead of the night.
Yeah, they just, it's going to be tough to stop that offensive unit when they get inside the 3-yard line, as big as they are up front. And, you're looking at an offensive front that runs 345, 260, 270, 250, 300. That's a lot of weight.
Sama with the carry, and Southeast Polk with the lead as they extend it to 34-17. As they have doubled the score, now the extra point by the Rams is up and good by Josh Wilson. 35-17 is our score. We'll take a break here at Valley Stadium the opening night. And it's 2nd-ranked Southeast Polk leading 3rd-ranked Dowling 35-17. Minute 32 left to go, 3rd quarter, here on Iowa Catholic Radio and CISN.TV.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Father Fabian from the Diocese of Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. Southeast Polk extends their lead now 35-17 on a 8-play, 78-yard drive capped off by Abu Sama's 4th touchdown of the night from 2 yards out. And John Chida will go down the year before the kickoff. What a job by the offensive line of Southeast Polk. They are really, wearing the Maroon defense down, and they're executing what they didn't do earlier in the contest. And here is the kickoff by Josh Wilson. And it'll be fielded by Dowling at the 15, across the 20, 25, and tripped up is Cooper Nicholson. Ball loose, but I think they're going to rule him down.
Yeah, they're going to rule him down.
So the Rams lead it 35-17. They doubled the score. It was halftime at 17-14, or rather 21-17. Southeast Polk led at half, but it's been all Rams here in the second half. And John Chida, are you with us now?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark.
That's okay.
I apologize.
But what a drive by the Rams. 8 plays, 78 yards, and Sama with a 2-yard run. But Gibson backing him up had a couple nice runs during that drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Offensively, what Southeast Polk is doing to this Dowling defense has been a tremendous job. They're finding those holes over the middle, and from receivers, and they'll move one. The Southeast Polk offense will move one way and bring those receivers across the middle and find those holes, and it's hard for these Dowling linebackers to cover those. And I credit Southeast Polk; they've been doing a great job, and if they're able to do that with those short routes over those crossing routes over the receivers, and then be able to run the ball with the two running backs, that's a tough 1-2 punch to stop.
Yeah, minute 27 left here in the third quarter, and Matt, we've seen it up here high and dry, as we say, as the Rams have just, now they're just kind of carving things out, what they want to do. If they need to pass or play action or run, they have been able to do that.
It's going to be really important for this offense right now to extend a drive and keep that defense on the sideline for a little bit and get some air.
All right, Smolik at quarterback, Dowling from their own 32, a quick pass to the right side, caught for a short gain. Out of bounds, just shy of the...
Looked like Bo Gamble, wasn't it?
Yep, Gamble was over there with a quick hitter. Just kind of moving the chains there, Matt.
Yeah, I think, early in that second quarter, they started moving the tempo up a little bit. And I think you're going to see that now again from this Dowling offense. They're going to pick up the tempo. They need to, down 18 points.
Gamble with a 5-yard reception, 2nd and 5 Dowling. Smolik back to throw, quick hitter, caught by Cooper Nicholson. He's got the first down across the 45 up near the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 9.
And this is that tempo type of offense. You're just hitting those 7-yard receivers. And Jackson, as strong as that arm is, gets that ball out quickly and doesn't allow the time for the defense to react.
So Nicholson and Gamble at the top of your screen, at the right of the Dowling offense. And the Maroons bring in a fullback here. Here's Smolik back to throw with Phillips in the backfield. Throws it over the middle. He's got a man wide open. Caught, touchdown, Dowling Catholic. We talk about a quick hitter, then a touchdown quick hitter to Cooper Nicholson. Boy, where did he come from?
Yeah, that was the first breakdown we've seen of that Southeast Polk secondary. Cooper Nicholson must have been a hitch and go. Maybe Johnny saw it, but he stuttered or somewhere because they froze and he ran right by him.
54 yards on the Dowling touchdown. Smolik hooking up with Cooper Nicholson, and now the Maroons, I think, are going to go for 2. And they're going to bring in Dante Cataldo to play quarterback as the Dowling will go for 2. Let's see what kind of offense they put out there. Nicholson and Gamble split out wide right to the top of your screen on CISN. They'll bring in an extra tight end, and Cataldo will run the shotgun. C.J. Phillip standing to his right. Cataldo wearing number 2, and now penalty flag down, and the play clock ran down. It'll bring a 5-yard penalty on the extra point.
And now you'll probably see him kick the extra point, I'm assuming.
I think they just switched.
Yep, Schumacher's coming onto the field.
The Maroons had an opportunity there, and play clock went down to 0. 5-yard penalty, so the extra point will be from 25 yards.
It's one of those things where there really isn't a loss because you still get just the extra points a little bit deeper.
We figured out how Cooper got so wide open. Somebody missed an assignment. Rarely it's had happened. That it happened to the Ram defense, and now Schumacher's kick is good, and it's 35-24. Southeast Polk with the lead. We'll take a break and a timeout. We'll come back and talk to John Chido on the Dowling sideline as the Maroons have cut it to 11 with 51 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio and CISN.
Hello, this is Bishop William Joensen. As part of our nation's Eucharistic revival, please join me and Catholics from around our Des Moines Diocese at the Diocesan Eucharistic Procession on Sunday, August 28th. We'll begin with 10:30 a.m. Mass at the Basilica of St. John and process with our Eucharistic Lord to St. Ambrose Cathedral, concluding with benediction. Light refreshments, fellowship, and games in the outdoor plaza at the Catholic Pastoral Center will follow, and there'll be shuttle rides available back to the Basilica. Learn more and share with your friends on Facebook or at dmdiocese.org. A message from Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercyone.org.
Join the Iowa Catholic Radio family for the celebration of Holy Mass at our Chapel of St. Gabriel the Archangel on the first Friday of every month at 11:30 a.m. The chapel is located at our network studios, 1355 50th Street, Suite 500 in West Des Moines.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium on the kickoff, returned by Southeast Polk across the 20, and finally driven down right around the 24-yard line is the Rams' Carson Robbins on the return, but Dowling on their last possession. 3 plays, 68 yards, capped off by Jackson Smolik's 54-yard touchdown pass to Cooper Nicholson. That is his second touchdown reception of the night. And Dowling's cut the lead to 11. John Chido on the Dowling sideline. And we talked about quick hitters, John, and then there was the bomb that Nicholson was wide open. We still haven't figured that one out.
Well, you know how Matt said earlier in the game they were setting some stuff up. They were running those short routes there. They came out with an empty set, and that was Cooper with the backside like a skinny post. And I think the safety or corner on that side thought they had help over the top.
All right, the Rams now in the final 40 seconds of the third quarter run a running play to the far sideline and run out of bounds. It is Sama, and it'll bring up second down.
That play's not fair. I tell you what, Jake Anderson just got, Caden Proctor comes out and pulls out on that play and knocks off the corner, and Jake Anderson got all of Proctor right there, and Proctor won that battle for the short gain.
Yeah, so that'll bring up 2nd and 5. We'll give Robbins a carry there. Rams on their own 29-yard line, and handoff goes to the tailback across the 30, maybe to the 31 on the play, and that might be the final play of the third quarter. We'll see.
Good job in there by Ralston Rumley. He was the one that was in the middle of that one and stopped it up and prevented a big gain out of that play.
6-yard gain by Sama. Bring up 3rd and 2.
I think you're right. They're going to let it run down.
And the Rams in no hurry because the clock is their now enemy. And that'll wrap up the third quarter as the Rams let the clock wind down. 3rd and 2, and we come back for the fourth quarter. 3rd and 2, Southeast Polk on their own 32-yard line. But we come to the end of the third quarter with the score. Southeast Polk 35, Dowling 24, alongside Matt Maindring. I'm Mark Amadale. John Chido on the Dowling sideline. I want to thank all the folks from CISN and Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio business underwriters provide people with the opportunity to hear the Word of God and grow in their faith each and every day. Our business supporters have helped expand our network, connecting more listeners to Christ. Would your business or organization like to share in this mission? If you own or manage a business, we would like to talk to you about how you can make a positive impact in the state of Iowa and beyond. To learn more about becoming an Iowa Catholic Radio underwriter, contact Deacon Mark 515-223-1150 or visit iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Father Greg Leach from the Diocese of Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel. Online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. You can hear the Dowling fans getting after it. It's 3rd and 2 for Southeast Polk. Moberly back to throw. Rolls to his left, still on his feet, and he threw it away. It'll bring up 4th and 2, and now the Dowling fans starting to come to life here, Matt Maindring.
Yeah, that was a big stop there for the defense, and Southeast Polk has been so good on that 3rd and short on the play action, and right there the Dowling defense got it figured out.
So the Dowling defense comes up big, and they'll punt. Well, the Rams, they'll bring in their all-purpose kicker, Josh Wilson, who's had a pretty good night, has not missed an extra point in 5 attempts. He's done a pretty good job punting. He mishandled one snap early, and now penalty flags down on the Rams. They're going to call for a procedure according to the Dowling defense, Matt.
Yeah, they got him to jump off sides, and it'll back him up a little bit farther.
Cooper Nicholson, Trey Wilson, a sophomore. Trey wearing number 15. Cooper wearing number 8, back to receive, and they'll back up Southeast Polk 5 yards on the penalty. Rams have committed 2 turnovers tonight, both on fumbles. Dowling forced 3 fumbles all last year, and they forced 2 tonight in the opening night, but trail 35-24 as we simulcast on TV and radio. Here's the boot by Southeast Polk, and it's a fair catch single by Cooper Nicholson right at the Dowling 41, and that's where the offense will take over for Dowling. 1st and 10 from their own 41. Underway here in the fourth quarter, 11:46 remaining. Back down to the Dowling sideline, and John Chido and Johnny, we've seen the Dowling offense score in 3 plays from a long distance, but they're going to need another score as they're 2 scores down here.
Yeah, it's go time now, fourth quarter, and you're trailing by 35-24, 11 points. That's why they went for the 2-point conversion that they're going to kind of cut that to a touchdown and a field goal. So Dowling will need 2 scores to overtake them, and this drive is crucial for the Maroons.
1st and 10, Dowling on their own 41. They go left to right, south to north here, or rather north to south here at Valley Stadium. Low snap, but Smolik picks it up and runs for it, and he'll slide across the 45. They'll put him down at the 46-yard line for a gain of 5.
Good heady play there by Smolik as he realized that there was nowhere to go with that football, and things were a little messed up, and he was able to take advantage right up the middle.
So it'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Game clock continues to run. The Maroons getting their personnel in. We see Cooper Nicholson, the top of your screen, slot left, and the tight end beyond him, and that's Jalen Thompson. They'll bring out a 3rd receiver. So empty backfield, no tight end, 5 receivers. Back to throw Smolik, has time, rolls to his left. Now fires off his back foot, and the pass is, they're going to rule a catch.
Oh, I thought the defender was there early, but they're
and
not.
They ruled a catch, complete. Nice
he
job.
Caught it.
Yeah, right there.
No gain.
And, right at the line of scrimmage. 46-yard line, no gain.
Either that or it was incomplete. I don't know. I'm not sure what they called there.
Yeah, they called a catch.
They called it a catch.
The referees didn't do the incomplete sign, so it's a catch. Top of your screen as receivers, Bo Gamble, number 12 for Dowling Catholic. 2 receivers at right and left. One back in the backfield for the Maroons, and that is Rashad Davis. Back to throw Smolik. Wants to go over the middle, and the pass is intercepted. Over the head of the intended receiver and intercepted by Southeast Polk, and the Rams' Cole Rogers comes up with it, and he returns it near midfield. And that was a big blow, the first turnover of the night for Dowling.
Yeah, right through Cooper's hands, and he had to go up a little bit to get it. And Cooper's going to say, "I'm going to catch that ball every time." And you get late in the evening like this, a little more dewy. The weather's a little damp, and that ball squirted through there, right into the hands of Cole Rogers.
So 1st and 10, Rams on their own 49-yard line. As you mentioned, the pass was overthrown by Jackson Smolik to Cooper Nicholson. Run a crossing pattern from the right to left. And then Rogers with the interception. Now Southeast Polk, and they're in their run offense right here. You can just tell the run formation. They give it to the backup tailback, and that is Gibson. And Harrison Gibson puts his head down, gets across midfield, and bowls his way down to the Dowling 46, gain of 5.
Gibson's had a real strong night for the Rams in that backup position for him, and given Sama breaks back there, and really has had a great night running the football.
Yeah, the Rams, you can tell they've got 1 receiver split out wide to the left. It's the bottom of your screen. That's Owen Wignall. And the receiver now at the top of the screen, and they just give it to Gibson. He's got the first down and more. Scampers through there across the 40, and he's finally brought down right around the 35-yard line of Dowling. Gain of 11 and a first down for the Rams.
Again, that offensive line with all that size and weight up there is really creating some creases. And Carson Hagan was out for a few plays, and now he's back in. into the game for the Maroons, and that's right where they were running to. So we'll see if Carson can get in there and help him stop it up here a little bit.
Spot him down at the 37-yard line, does Gibson, so picks up the first down on a 9-yard gain. So the Rams with a 5 and a 9-yard gain to start the drive. 9:40, the clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. First and 10 Rams. Here's the snap, and they give to Gibson again, trying to find some room on the right side, and he pushes the pile forward inside the 35 down near the 33-yard line for a gain of about 3.
Southeast Polk really doesn't have any reason to put the ball in the air right now, the way they're running the football and keeping the clock moving, which is exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, the clock is their enemy right now. They
Yeah.
really don't need any more points, but it doesn't hurt. If they get a field goal out of this, they're in good shape. I think Coach Zelinovich thinking that. Brad Zelinovich, the head coach at Southeast Polk, in his 8th year as the head coach, but 18th year overall. He's assistant to Denny Muller for many years. And now has his team in a 2nd and 7 at the Dowling 34-yard line with Gibson a run of 3 yards. And now penalty flag down, and that's going to be delay of game on Southeast Polk.
I think they're going to say they got a timeout before the penalty.
All right, we'll take one with them. 8:45 left, fourth quarter. And as Southeast Polk leads Dowling 35-24 from Valley Stadium. We'll return after these messages here on CISN and the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Encounter Jesus and local Catholics daily. Tune in to Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of the Daily Mass from St. Francis of Assisi Parish in West Des Moines, weekday mornings at 10:30, or listen anytime with the Iowa Catholic Radio mobile app.
Welcome back to Valley Stadium. Mark Amadale, Matt Mainring, as Valley Stadium has been be the home for a few games this year. I don't think they don't have a night off, either Valley or Dowling Catholic playing, Matt. But Southeast Polk now with the ball, and they run the ball down inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line, gain of 10, and another Ram first down.
Yeah.
They're trying to milk the clock.
Gibson again with a strong run there for the Rams, and now they bring Abusama back in as they get inside the 30-yard line.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, construction professionals and dental associates. And our thanks to Bozen the Florist. Bozen, 515-244-ROSE. And now the give is to Sama, and that time the Maroons had that pegged, as Dowling's defense now thinks, hey, it's going to be everything running. Penalty flag down at the end of the game, at the end of the play, as Sama carries the ball, but for no gain and a loss. But we'll see what the penalties.
I don't know what they call a face mask. Got his head turned there a little bit. It's hard. We'll see what the officials say here.
We're going to spot progress back to the 27-yard line, so a loss of 3, but this may come at a cost to Dowling, right?
Face mask penalty, personal foul.
That's 15 yards in high school. Referees have the option in college, 5 or 15, but it's 15 here, and that's an automatic first down inside the 15 for Southeast Polk. Costly penalty there for the Maroons. That keeps the drive alive and the clock moving.
The Maroons need to try to rip that ball out, and you can bet, Abusama is going to be sitting there with both arms covering that ball as he gets the handoff here.
All right, so 1st and 10, Southeast Polk from the Dowling 14. Sama in the backfield. Abu lines up to the right of quarterback Moberly, gets the handoff right up the gut, and he's hit and wrestled down by the Maroon defense that time, led by
looked like
a bunch of Maroons.
Yeah, that front there was able to get that stop, and
Dylan Manning on the stop.
Yeah,
along with
Dylan
a few
Manning
others.
and Braden Pearson come off the bottom of that pile as that front three really stopped things up, and I think that's Ralston Rumley. They're going to try and get him off. Come off one play. And he's had a heck of a night. He's battling a lot of bodies in there at that nose guard position, and it starts to wear on you after a little bit.
Ralston coming out. Bring up 2nd and 8 for Southeast Polk. The ball on the Dowling. That can't be right. Yes, it is 2nd, and we'll call it a long 8. Rams are going to let the play clock wind down. Quarterback Connor Mobley, 6'4", 195-pound juniors went the distance. He and Sama. You've seen Harrison Gibson at tailback.
I don't know what that play was. The ball never got away from the center. I don't know what happened there. It was almost like a false start.
False start on the offense. I think somebody snapped it and the rest of the team wasn't ready. I think we had the wrong count. So that'll back the Rams up 5 yards. That'll put them back at the 13-yard line of Dowling. I think at the 12 on the Ram penalty. Of course, both teams will be in action next Friday night as Southeast Polk comes right back here to take on the Valley Tigers in week 2. So
and one update, that score was wrong earlier. It's 14-7 yet on that Valley Waukee Northwest game.
Valley leading?
Valley leading.
All right. Handoff goes to Sama, and Abu cuts it outside, and he's finally tackled in the open field right around the 12-yard line. Let's see where they spot him, right? No gain on the play. Great job on the defensive end by Dowling.
Jake Anderson there came up and made a really good tackle in the open field on Abu Sama here, so it creates 3rd and long situation, and if there's any hope for the Maroons, it's on this one right here. It's got to get a stop.
And the ball goes back to the 17-yard line. Loss of 5 that time by Sama. And a rare loss on the play. Southeast Polk is in their run formation here with 2 receivers to the right, double tight ends, and a fullback. And here's the handoff to Sama, trying to find a seam, and he dives forward to about the 15-yard line, a gain of 2, but shy of the first down to bring up 4th down.
Here comes the field goal unit for Southeast Polk.
Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you by Skeffington's Formal Wear, along with the fine folks at Mercy One and the Catholic Tuition Organization. Reminder, tomorrow, girls cross-country meet tomorrow night, scheduled for Johnston, has been moved to tomorrow morning at Johnston at 10 o'clock due to the incoming weather that is predicted for Central Iowa tomorrow. Dowling volleyball team will be up at Ankeny Centennial for a large tournament going on there. Here's the field goal. It is up, and it is good by the Rams. That'll be a 33-yard field goal. That might be the icing on the cake as Josh Wilson hits the field goal and extends the lead to 38-24. Southeast Polk leading Dowling. We'll take a break and be back here in the 4th quarter from Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Mark Amadeo, Matt Maindring, John Chido. It's Southeast Polk 38, Dowling 24 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and CISN.TV.
This is a Young Catholic Minute.
My brother doesn't want to get confirmed. Is it okay for my parents to make him anyway?
Would your parents make your brother get married or be ordained a priest if he didn't want to? I doubt it. But confirmation is just as big a deal. It's not just graduating from religious education classes. It's making a commitment to follow Christ and remain faithful to Him and His church. How do you think God would feel if someone walked up to the bishop to be confirmed but had no intention of keeping the commitment to God that confirmation implies? Probably about as good as someone who just found out their spouse was lying when he or she was saying their wedding vows. And if someone doesn't want to be confirmed, then it's not a good idea to force them into a situation where they would be lying to God. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. Prayer will move mountains. Just have faith and trust in God. He won't let you down. For more Young Catholic Minutes, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
9 plays, 51 yards on the Southeast Polk drive, capped off by a Josh Wilson 33-yard field goal. And now Wilson kicking off and boots it into the end zone. Touchback. There'll be no return for the Maroons as the Dowling offense will take the field, trailing 38-24 to second-ranked Southeast Polk. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and that is where John Chido is at. Johnny?
It's still a two-possession game with that field goal, so Dowling's still down 14. They would have needed 2 touchdowns anyway, but the big factor there was the time of possession on that last drive Southeast Polk had.
I have that for you, Johnny.
That'd be, 6 minutes?
5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
they chopped a lot of time off that clock, didn't they?
They sure did.
All right, first down Dowling. They're at their own 20-yard line, and the Maroons now will keep the ball on the ground, and maybe a yard or two as the Maroons try to get something set up. C.J. Phillip with the carry.
Try to keep them honest here as they come out, and everyone's figuring they're going to start throwing the ball over the field and see if they can catch Southeast Polk sitting on their heels a little bit there and sneak a run in there.
So Phillip gains 2. It's second down and 8 from the Dowling 22-yard line. Smolik at quarterback, looks left, throws left, pass is caught and run out of bounds. Is, I believe, Bo Gamble over there.
Might be Jalen Thompson.
Yep.
Jalen Thompson on the edge there.
You are correct.
A couple yards short.
There's nobody on. They're all on different sides. Thompson's been on the right side and left. So is Gamble now is down at the bottom of the of your screen on TV. So yeah, Thompson with the reception, run out of bounds at the 28-yard line. He gained a 6. Back to throw Smolik. Throws it over the middle, and that's where Thompson is. And he tried to come back for it, and it's ripped out of his hands. Stripped out of his hands, incomplete. Nice job that time by Gabe Stiles.
And we got a flag in the backfield here. I didn't see the end of the play. Don't know if it's a late hit in the quarterback or a hold back there. They're saying it's against the Maroons. We're going to have a holding call. We're going to see this. Selenovich going to decline this and make it 4th and 2, or make it 3rd and 12.
Decision time for Coach Brad Selenovich. Mentioned this is his.
This is kind of a tough call because you got to think the Maroons are going to go for it on 4th down, and he is going to take the penalty. So.
Penalties on Dowling, and they'll move him back.
And it's a spot foul, so where the flag was, so it does create a 3rd and 15.
They'll take the yardage, move it back to the 15-yard line. So Dowling loses almost plus the reception, and now Dowling with a late substitution. They have 5 receivers, 2 left and 3 to the right. Smolik back to throw, spreads the field, still on his feet, looking downfield. He's going to be hit and dropped from behind. Back around the 14-yard line, a loss of 1.
Draven Woods on the sack there for Southeast Polk, and did that with one shoe. Lost a shoe on his way to Smolik and was able to drag him down.
Nice job by Woods. Dowling forced a punt, though. Bring in Nicholson. Cooper will be backed up into his own end zone, and see if Southeast Polk, we're going to kind of like this field. They'll be back here next week against the Valley Tigers, and their season opener will not be on their new field. Found out that today. They probably won't play there this year as it's not ready. They'll be back on their old field, and now we've got what? Timeout? We'll keep it here. 4 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. It's 38-24. John Chido hopping in on this conversation. The Maroons now with 4 minutes left, trailing by, as you mentioned, 2 scores. But it doesn't get any easier. Maroons started 1-3 last year, Johnny, and made the playoffs with winning 6 in a row. And the Rams in control right now, and the Maroons will be looking at a journey to first time ever playing at Waukee Northwest. The Wolves came to Valley Stadium last year. It'll be our first trip over there next week.
Yeah, we talked about the schedule at the beginning of the broadcast, and you knew going into the season that it's going to be a tough sledding this first half of the season. There's no breathing room, and the same as last year, it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to come down to big plays and conversions. And, at times Dowling showed sparks of that offensively, and then defensively couldn't get off the field in big plays and 3rd and 11s, things like that, and Southeast Polk was able to convert on them, and that's been the difference.
Certainly has, and now out of the timeout. 4th and 16, Dowling on their own 14-yard line. Nicholson with the boot, a high, short kick, and both Carson Robbins and Abu Sama let it roll. They do not fair catch it, and it rolls down inside the Dowling, or rather the Ram 40, and the Rams will take over 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line with 3:48 remaining.
We do have a couple score updates, Mark.
Go right ahead.
I believe Ankeny and Waukee are now 7-7. And the Valley game's the final, winning 17-7 over Waukee Northwest. Cedar Falls is up on Johnston yet 14-0 in the 4th quarter.
In the Dome up in Cedar Falls.
Yeah, and then Urbandale is up on Bettendorf yet 27-14.
That's a great game being played at Frericks Field in my backyard in Urbandale. And there'll be a great crowd there for that.
And Indianola is up on Ankeny Centennial 26-13.
Coach Kluver of Indianola playing against his former coach, head coach, Jerry Pizzetti at Ankeny. How about that?
Yeah.
What a matchup. You ever have any of your former players play you? Or?
No.
You didn't stay at that long.
I've got another one of my former players having his head coaching debut tonight, Brett Dorenbos, over in West Monona, over in Sloan, Iowa, is debuting tonight.
So you're keeping track of him and your son over at Van Meter, who won, by the way. You got them all over.
And the Orbs, so it's,
and Sheldon, that's
and
right.
Sheldon, so.
That's southern Minnesota, folks. If you don't know where Sheldon's at, or close to it. Here's Gibson with the carry, gained 4 yards, 2nd down and 6 for Southeast Polk. We're approaching the 3-minute mark with the Rams leading 38-14. We mentioned Southeast Polk back here next Friday night. CISN will have the broadcast. Southeast Polk and Valley here at Valley Stadium. Dowling will be on the road. Will be radio only next week, folks, as Dowling will travel to Waukee Northwest. And off once again up near the 45-yard line. Gain of 3 to bring up 3rd down for the Rams. They're just trying to eat the clock. And Gibson gain of 3 that time.
And you're going to see the Maroon defense as they evolve with this new defensive front and everything else. You know, tonight Southeast Polk found that gap in the middle of the field, and which is hard because you got Abu Sama back there, and he might be the best tailback in the state, and he showed it tonight, and he was just outstanding.
I'll tell you what, the Moberly kid, Connor Mobley, who's at quarterback, as they run their run formation, and he's hit and dropped in the backfield. Penalty flag down in the back end of this, as clock will be stopped with 2:10 left to go in the 4th quarter. But Moberly played a stellar game, first ever varsity snap. He was on the team last year, but never took a snap that we know of, at least statistically. And here he goes tonight, and he goes the distance, and he knocked off 3rd-ranked Dowling, apparently, here with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and Gibson, who has had such a good night tonight, is down on the ground, I believe, right now, as he had a nice, strong run there again. But he is, they're attending to him, and hopefully, again, it's, you get this time of the year, you get those cramps going, and yes, that's what it looks like it might be.
He's a young man. I talked to Coach Lenovich before tonight's game, and he said that kid you're talking about, Harrison Gibson, 5'10", 190-pound senior, did not come out for football last year, so missed the state championship run, but he was on the team freshman, sophomore year. Some kids are doing that. They don't play for a year, then they come back out, whether it's their teammates or family situations or what. But here's a kid who came back out, had to earn the spot. You know that as a coach.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I don't care if you played freshman, sophomore, you still got to earn it. He's earned it, and if Coach Lenovich is giving the keys to the car to back up and spell Sama, you know he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And thank goodness on that last play, it was just a cramp and not an injury. We like seeing that.
Yeah, he's had a really good night, and this offense is going to be so challenging to stop, as big as they are up front and solid, and then you put a running back like that. And Mobley, like you said, he played so well tonight in his first start.
All right, 3rd and 15 for Southeast Polk, and they give the handoff to Sama, who's in there for Gibson, and he's still on his feet. Boy, you just can't bring him down. And Iowa State's going to get themselves a player, and he may have picked up the first down. He did, up to midfield. What a run by Abu Sama there.
That is going to drive the defensive coaches crazy right there. He just drugged the whole defense about at least 7, 8 yards to get that first down right there.
Gain of officially 13, but the last 5 was the dividend. It would have been a 4th down if they would have held him. They didn't. 1st and 10, Southeast Polk at their own 49. And Abu Sama came in spelling his backup, Gibson, who had to sit out a play. He ground out 13.
This might be the victory formation now. They're going to take a knee.
Minute 10 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Game clock running. 38-24. Southeast Polk leading Dowling, and that will do it. Yeah, they're going to take a knee. Mobley will have to take 1 or 2 more of those. And Dowling will be just like last year, starting off 0-1 and then taking on Waukee Northwest, who you said earlier, Matt, was losing.
Yeah, Waukee Northwest lost to Valley 17-7.
17-7.
Close ball game, and that Northwest team is going to be really good. Still, a surprise score is still Waukee and Ankeny, and I don't have an update on that one yet. But 7-7, that would be an upset.
Yes, it would. All right, for our stations down the line, once we go to commercial, it'll be a 2-minute break for Sean and for Jeff Piggott, who's back on the board for Iowa Catholic Radio, and Sean and the gang are here for the CISN, and that'll do it. Final score, 38-24, Southeast Polk, second ranked in the preseason polls, knock off number 3, Dowling Catholic, 38-24 as the handshake line begins. Congratulations to Brad Zelenovich and his coaching staff and players. Zelenovich and Coach Nolting are the offensive coaches, along with Rich Beatty, Luke Vandersanden, and John Cochran. Congratulations to them. And then on the defensive side, Pug Starcevich, longtime coach and teacher out at Southeast Polk, Eric Henderson, Mark Martin. Congratulations to them and the Rams with a win tonight, 38-24. Let's take a look at the final stats before we go to our break. As Dowling with 328 yards of total offense, but the Rams with 439 yards of total offense, 226 in the ground for Southeast Polk, 213 in the air. For Dowling, 283 yards in the air and 45 yards on the ground. Maroons were penalized 4 times for 40 yards. Southeast Polk, 6 penalties for 48 yards. Southeast Polk with 23 first downs in the contest, Dowling with 14. Jackson Smolik tonight, he was 25 out of 37 passing with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception for 283 yards. He threw both touchdowns to Cooper Nicholson to the Maroons. And for Connor Mobley, in his first varsity start for Southeast Polk, he went 16 of 25 passing, 213 yards, and a touchdown. Leading rusher for Dowling was C.J. Phillip, 5 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Smolik, 4 carries for 10 yards, and Rashad Davis, a sophomore, 3 carries for 9 yards. For Southeast Polk, their leading rusher was Abu Sama, 16 carries, 145 yards, and 4 touchdowns, including a 72-yard run on their first play from scrimmage in the first quarter. Harrison Gibson, 15 carries, 96 yards for the Rams. Leading receiver for Dowling, Cooper Nicholson, 5 catches, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bo Gamble, 5 catches for 75 yards. Jalen Thompson, 5 catches for 54, and Rashad Davis, 3 catches for 29 yards. Will Leifker, 3 catches for 10 yards. Hank Brown, 2 catches for Dowling and 7 yards. And finally, C.J. Phillip, 2 catches and 4 yards for Dowling. Leading receiver for Southeast Polk was Carson Robbins, 7 catches, 103 yards on the night. Joe Zelenovich had 3 catches for 41 yards. Abu Sama out of the backfield, 2 catches for 28 yards. Sam Good, 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown for the Rams tight end and starting defensive end. Jack Falloon, 1 catch for 11 yards. And finally, Owen Wignall, 1 catch for 5 yards. That'll wrap up the stats for Southeast Polk. Again, Southeast Polk leading at halftime by the score of 21-17, and they outscored Dowling here in the second half, 24-7 rather, to win it by the score of 38-24. And again, total yardage for the Rams, 439 yards, and total yardage for the Dowling, 328. Thanks to Jared Seifert, our stat guy and part of the Dowling staff. We'll take a break, come back. We'll start our post-game show, 2-minute break here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Again, the final score, 38-24. Southeast Polk defeats Dowling, and we'll return with our post-game show after these messages.
It can be easy to forget about the dignity of another when we disagree with their ideas or actions. we start to focus on the things that make us different, and the thoughts start to divide us. Before we reach the conclusion of those thoughts, we must pause and remind ourselves that person with a different ideal or lifestyle has great dignity. The next time you find yourself ready to go toe-to-toe with someone, remember that they have dignity and deserve respect, even when we disagree.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, connecting listeners to Christ every day with people like you.
Hi, this is Father John Aker from the Diocese of Des Moines. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio.
Amazon Smile is a simple way to support Iowa Catholic Radio. When you are shopping on Amazon, consider shopping through Amazon Smile instead. You get all the same great deals, and your order will also help support Iowa Catholic Radio. All you need to do is choose Iowa Catholic Radio as your nonprofit to support when you first log in, and Amazon will do the rest. Every Amazon Smile order you make, Amazon will donate to Iowa Catholic Radio. Support Iowa Catholic Radio while you shop at smile.amazon.com. And thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
Enhance your prayer life, one song at a time. Enjoy sacred music wherever and whenever you want. Available now at iowacatholicradio.com, your Alexa device, or download the Iowa Catholic Radio mobile app from Google Play or the App Store.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. As our final score tonight, it was Southeast Polk defeating Valley 38-24. The Rams come back here next week and play Valley. Same locker room, same field, same school colors and all that. But congratulations to Brad Zelenovich and the Southeast Polk Rams. Are off to a 1-0 start with a win tonight. Mark Amadale and Matt Maindring. Matt, you saw
Mark,
and heard the stats. Let's go down to John Chido, who has head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic. Tony?
Well, Coach, I know the outcome wasn't what you guys wanted, but kids fought hard and still got a lot of ball games left ahead.
We do. We got to be a better team tonight, and we had chances. Like I told the kids, there was never a point we're out of the ball game, but missed tackles, missed assignments. We had a chance to try to go down and score, and it's a two-possession game, and we had 4 plays, and we were lined up wrong 4 different times, and that's the kind of stuff that you can't do against a team like that, and we'll be all right. We'll keep plugging away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're coming down there on the ball tip there with the interception, and they were able to take 6 minutes off the clock and kind of put you out of the rhythm and kind of, changes things a little bit then.
Well, it does, and our kids played hard, but, we have to execute better. Southeast Polk, number 1, is a really good football team. And, they're going to be there at the end, but, this isn't the end of the world, and they're not going to crown them the state champs yet. So it's a long old journey, and we'll keep plugging away and see what we can do.
Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Yep, thanks.
And thanks to John Chido for interview that time with Tom Wilson, the head coach of Dowling Catholic. As we're going to wrap up our broadcast tonight as we're with CISN, and, of course, their coverages for high school football. They were at 3 spots tonight, including the Dowling Southeast Polk game that we covered here on Iowa Catholic Radio with their TV support. They had the Valley Waukee Northwest game out at Waukee Northwest High School, and they also had the Indianola at Ankeny Centennial contest up at Ankeny Stadium on CISN. The battle of Coach Kluver at Indianola playing his former high school coach, Jerry Pizzetti at Ankeny, and I think the old coach or the young player got his old coach. You never had that happen to you,
Never
Mr. Maindring?
No, I haven't. You got to be in it a while to have that happen. And,
that is true.
I did have my son on the opposite sidelines. The last year at Sheldon, he was on the opposite sideline for the other team, but not the head coach. And it is, it's kind of fun because you want to see him do well, but you don't want to see him do too well.
Yeah. not when your team comes up in the schedule.
You're playing to win.
Right.
So, no, it is always fun. There's a certain amount of pride when you get to see your former players go back and get into the sport and then get into the profession.
We want to thank all our supporters, both on Iowa Catholic Radio and CISN. If you're watching on CISN, all the advertising has been on their screen throughout the night. And I want to thank our producer here, Sean Ingracias. Is that right? I say it right? Ingracia. I got to get the Italian part on that. I should know better than that. Sean Ingracia. He's been producing for CISN.TV. AJ Laporte, Jose Guzman, and Jennifer Phelps, who ran the video board here at Valley Stadium. Great job out of them. And, of course, Jeff Piggott has been our studio producer as we wrap things up on opening night of the high school football season. Don't go to your phones yet, guys. We're going to have a quick wrap-up. I don't know what he's up to. John Chido, welcome back to the broadcast here. Coming up here.
Trying to check the scores yet. I still want to see that.
Breath.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you do that. Maynard's trying to figure out what his former players are doing.
No, I'm trying to find the final of that Ankeny-Waukee game. So.
Well, both teams to be in action. You were on the sidelines the whole game, Johnny. Southeast Polk's a good team, and we knew it would be tough, and it certainly was.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was impressed by Southeast Polk is their ability to throw the football and keep Dowling off balance.
Brand new quarterback.
Yeah, and he did a phenomenal job tonight, and our three front guys played well defensively, and they were gassed. They were on the field a long time, and you know, we have a young linebacking crew, and they're going to get better and better, and that defense is going to get better as the season progresses, and I think we're in good shape. I mean, that was a good football team we played against.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't like we're talking about right? We got beat by the number 14 team of the state or something like that.
Right.
This is defending state champions, and they came out and played really well. And to your point, Johnny, Mobley comes in, and Abu Sama was covered up by so many good athletes around him last year. He probably should have got more attention than what he got, because the young man is very, very talented, and he played well tonight. And again, that's a lot of. Yeah, that's a lot of young men up there in that front line. There's a lot of weight.
And that was your key to the game. They had to contain him, and we weren't able to do that. And they converted on those big plays, those 3rd and 11s and whatnot, and continued drives. And it was because of his elusiveness.
And so they had, they graduated some great receivers last year. Look at Xavier. And another Falloon. Well, here's another Falloon coming up. But this kid, Carson Robbins, didn't play a whole lot. I looked at nothing from last year. He steps into the primary receiver role along with the coach's son, and had a pretty good night, I thought. And Gibson being the backup tailback, we talked about him throughout the game. But I'll tell you what, this is a nice Southeast Polk team. They're just interchanging parts, the ones that graduated, and then that veteran big offensive line. The tackles go over 3 bills on each end, and one of them's a premier All-American. And when he gets to the next level, and you faced him tonight.
Yeah, the other thing I want to point out too is Dowling has been a running team for so many years and been able to wear teams down. And we threw the ball a ton tonight. I'm sure the stats are through the roof, and we did a great job with that. But that also, if you're not clicking and you start getting behind the chains and you're not connecting every play and you're not able to get back into that running game or establish that running game, that makes it tough. And
I think you're right. I think the coaches go back and say we got to be able to establish something on the ground. You have to look at it 2 ways, which I think Dowling is going to look at this year. It always used to be run to set up the pass, and I think this year it's going to be pass to set up the run. And you saw a couple times where CJ was able to get through there, scored in that one touchdown, had a nice run. And as the year progresses, I think teams are going to be backing out of that box to cover the receivers, and it's going to create some openings, and they're going to have to take advantage of that when they can.
Well, the Rams now have won 10 in a row off their state championship run. They won the first game tonight, so they've won 10 in a row, and they'll go off the rest of their season. Southeast Polk back here next week at Valley Stadium, taking on the Valley Tigers, while Dowling will be on the road at the first ever broadcast from Waukee Northwest High School. The Wolves been out there for some other lower-level games, but a beautiful stadium, and have a press box all to ourselves there, Mr. Manning, so I'll see you out there. That's
I might be able to pedal out there.
I was going to say, you might take a bike or the golf cart, because that's right in your backyard.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Right. Well, guys, I want to thank you. John, thanks for you. He's huffing and puffing. I thought he'd be back in shape.
He did a lot. He said he bowled a lot. He did a lot of bowling today.
Trying to get that average up.
Yeah, there you go.
Get in shape bowling? I didn't know know that. I got to think about that one.
Well, when your wife beats you and she bowls a 185, I have a lot of work to do.
He mowed, too.
We got to get this in before we leave. I know the CISN wants to close it down, but what's going on with the chain gang? They're one man down. They couldn't find anybody in the taxi squad that was available. Did you go to the waiver wire?
No, I don't know if it was a late notice that they gave these guys, but usually they're on top of that. I think they missed Balducci. He had, if someone was absent or whatever, he made sure that they had enough coverage. So.
I gave him his final exit interview last year, Mr. Balducci. Yeah, he was sitting on the
bench.
bench.
That's right.
That?
Yeah,
and we may need to call him back out of the bullpen.
I think you're right.
Well, we hope they get that fixed. They got 2 weeks to get it fixed because Dowling's on the road at Northwest next week and then at Ankeny the following week. So they'll be back in 3 weeks.
That schedule is
brutal. Yeah. Guys, thank you. Appreciate it. John Chido, Matt Manning, my broadcast partners tonight. Thanks for everybody for CISN. For Jeff Piggott, I'm Mark Amadale. Final score for the final time. Southeast Polk defeats Dowling in week 1 of the high school football season, 38-24 here at Valley Stadium. We'll be on the air next Friday night, 6:30 from Waukee Northwest High School as Dowling takes on Waukee Northwest. For everybody involved with the broadcast, thank you. Have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening.
Coverage of Dowling Catholic Sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Skeffington's Formalware, and Bosun the Florist. Please support the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The proceeding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.